Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, per usual, I just want to make sure that you guys are heading on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com for all of your caffeine needs. That's right, we're talking about that ISA blend, that morning sesh, and that victory lap. And of course, guys, if you guys have been following Caffeine and Green since the beginning, since the beginning of the roasting company, we have approached the 1 year anniversary. 10/1/2020 was the year we launched the roasting brand. So with that being said, we have a brand new coffee coming out, and it's going to be called the Notorious. That's right. And it is a single origin Costa Rican coffee. It is a black honey processed. It's a natural. It is going to be super sweet. It's a little bit different from what I normally do for Caffeine and Green, but it is phenomenal, and I'm very excited about it. That's going to be dropping next week. So guys, keep a lookout for that. And also with that, we're going to have a couple new shirts on the way, a new Seahawks colored Caffeine and Green shirt, and then a Sugar Skull inspired by the Leof Clockley hoodie. It's now going to be a white tee. So guys, keep a lookout for that. And then if you need any of the other things that we still have, we have a couple of Southside t-shirts, a couple of the windbreakers, hoodies, and just other little things there and here and there that are on sale right now at caffeineandgreenroasting.com. So guys, head on over there today. And if you haven't already, I am also roasting for Steel Mill Coffee up in Oceanside, California. So if you guys haven't been there yet, you can try all of the amazing coffees that I've been roasting for Steel Mill. We have the Motor Breath blend, we have the Diner coffee, and an Ethiopian. It's amazing. We also have a decaf coffee there. So if you want to head in, get the whole cafe experience, head on over to Oceanside, California. It's off of Mission Ave, right off the 5 in both directions. Coming to say what up to all my homies. I'm talking about Anna, Joel, Giles, Shay, and of course myself. Catch me behind bar. Come in, say what up. I know everybody be super happy to see you. Steel Mill Coffee. All right. My guest today is a homie that, you just meet some people sometimes that you just, I don't know, man, there's a vibe. You just automatically click. Like you already know this dude. And of course, I'm talking about my homie G. That's right. He is running an experiment. I wouldn't say a coffee shop, but he does serve coffee. But it's an experiment, as he put it during the podcast, and it's called Longplay.Hifi. It's here in San Diego. It's off of Imperial Ave, and it's just one of the most amazing places that I've been right now. It's super cool. It's got an amazing vibe, definitely like a New York City kind of San Francisco vibe here in San Diego, and it's like stylish. It's got records. It's got pour-overs and a cold brew highball. I mean, man, it's super dope. He has great, amazing tunes. He's an amazing dude. He has some depth. He's got a lot to say. He's well-traveled. And let me just say, it was a great, amazing conversation. It was a long one, but it was an amazing one. And I would not trade it for anything. And guys, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. So guys, without further ado, my homie, G of Longplay.Hifi. This is your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. And we're live. G, welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Thanks for the hospitality as well.
Oh, dude. Well, I got some tequila right here. Let's take this shot first.
Salud.
Boom. Salud. Cheers.
I've always been one to also sip my tequila.
Totally fine.
Because of when I lived in Mexico, it was kind of like almost like a realization moment that like, holy shit, people don't shot tequila. It was like, I've been doing it wrong all my life. They do shot it, but they also, because I lived in Mexico City for a bit and just kind of started to really enjoy sipping tequila. But you still get pretty, can I cuss on this podcast or no?
Please.
You still get pretty fucked up, but it's just like you're not shotting it, but you're like sipping, and you end up sipping like, slowly, but just like you're like, holy shit, we just finished a whole bottle, like. But it's fun, man. Tequila's beautiful.
I completely agree. I was never a tequila person. I was always a whiskey person. But I it's funny because like I'm half Irish, literally half Irish, half Mexican, Native American, if you will. But whiskey was just kind of like, dude, I would always get so hungover, and you can't really sip it unless it's like old fashioned, and you sip or like a cocktail. But then at some point, I started getting into tequilas, like really good tequilas, and then then I found mezcal, like a mezcal, and I was like, yo, like this, you can't shoot mezcal. I mean, I guess you could, but I'm like, I'm not gonna shoot that. And then I started just sipping on tequila throughout the day, and I remember like sipping tequila, getting somewhat of a buzz over a course of a couple hours. Next day, woke up and I actually wasn't hungover, and I was like, "Yo!" I was like, "This is definitely the move." I mean, of course, you can get super sloshed on tequila, but I would definitely have to agree with you. Is that I shot it right now because I just really wanted to drink this beer, but I appreciate it, especially for me. Like, I'm not really big on Blanco, but I just had that bottle.
Yeah, Blanco's good, man.
I like Reposado.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I lived in Mexico, I always used to like look down on Blanco because I was like, oh, dude, it's like the cheaper of the tequilas.
Yeah.
But realizing that a lot of like friends were just like drinking Blanco, I was like, holy shit! Like, started getting a little bit more respect for it, and also just kind of like not looking down on it so much. So I've gotten over the years, man. It's weird how my taste buds and just like perspective on certain drinks has changed. But with tequila, it's always like, oh no, I have to be añejo, and it has to be like, like super old, otherwise I don't want to drink it. But the blanco stuff, I think it's because of mezcal, because like mezcal, like you usually drink like young mezcal, joven that they call it, right? And it's white. It's not like, brown and chocolatey like some of the tequilas look like. So just kind of finding that similarity of like, oh shit, like I really like joven mezcal, and that means that like that's the equivalent of like a blanco tequila, which is like a younger tequila.
Okay.
So just appreciating it because it has like that real agave taste,
I like the smokiness.
Yeah,
dude, that smokiness is so fire. I don't know what it is, and I actually had it at a Cantina Mayuel. Like, that was the first place I had it at. I was like, what's mezcal? And they're like, oh, the dude's like, here, like, try it. And I was just like, the homies that I was with, they were like, oh, no, like shook their, And then I was like, yo, I'm down.
It hits different. That's the thing. It kind of makes it like, I don't know. I always think that mezcal falls under the category of like, for me, like wine. Like, it's more of like an intellectual buzz. Like you actually can have like really deep conversations with people, and like, you're not just like getting bloated like with beer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with mezcal, it's like even down in Mexico, like they used to say, el buen mezcal pone no pega, which is what, like, a good mezcal is not gonna get you fucked up. It's just gonna like put you on a sick one, basically, right?
Okay.
So and learning how they make it, like some of these like mezcaleros like make it like with really like mystical like ways, and like almost like brujeria kind of shit, you know what I mean? Brujeria, like like witchcraft, kind of like
what?
Like they make it like under like a full moon, and like certain things, like it's just nuts.
What?
Dude. Like, yeah. Dude. So it has like this mysticism around it that's like tequila just doesn't have, and it tastes significantly different. Like, whoa, the way they process it, I think it's like made in a completely different way than tequila. So I don't know, mezcal is just like, oh my god, it's so good.
I'm about this. I like it even more now.
Yeah, it's good, dude. It's good. Yeah, you can see like some of the like I don't know names off the top of my head, but like the maestros that they call them, the mezcaleros, like the way they make it, and it's just like some of it is like full of mysticism, man. Like,
this is down in Mexico?
Yeah, it's primarily like Oaxaca and some of these other like mezcal producing. But the thing is that mezcal kind of has like tequila, for example. You can't call agave drink that's not from tequila. Like, kind of like in France, like champagne.
Yeah, or like a Bordeaux wine or something like that.
So like it has and I don't know how you say it in English, but it's denominación de origen is how you say it in Spanish. But it's like this thing where like mezcal comes from Oaxaca, and I could be mistaken if like there's other regions, but like there's other regions that produce similar drinks, but they call it, like, for example, in Zacatecas they call it vino de agave.
Oh, really?
agave wine.
Yeah,
they call
yeah,
it.
yeah.
In the north, in Sonora, they call it sotol. But it's basically, you taste it and you're like, this is mezcal. But like they just can't name it mezcal because it's not from the region that it's from, which is pretty cool because there's just tons of like agave drinks that we just know about tequila and now we're learning about mezcal. But there's also like sotol, vino de mezcal, vino de agave. I'm sorry. Um, there's another one. There's another name, sotol, vino de agave, and there's damn, I forget the other one, dude. But there's a couple like different ones, and they're all like similar tasting, like smoky, and
Sick.
yeah, it's cool, dude. It's really cool.
Dude, I want to get into that more but I feel like we're going to like get away from it.
That's another pot right there, dude. Agave and green.
I want to come back to that. But before we get too far about it, so I don't even think we introduced you yet. So
Oh yeah, we have.
I said, G, welcome to the podcast. But we were talking about your name beforehand. So you go by G.
Mm-hmm.
But say your full name again, though.
So my full name is, there's two ways of saying it. So the Spanish pronunciation is Gibran. But in English is Gibran. So it's always posed a problem for me, even though my family calls me Gibran. But the thing is that in Spanish, the real pronunciation is Gibran. So,
Gibran.
and then in English is Gibran. So
That's still a pretty G-ass name.
it's always been like a freaking like a dilemma, bro, in my life. Like my name is always like, oh shit, like what am I gonna go by today? You know, Gibran, Gibran.
Dude, Gibran is tight. Gibran is sick,
Yeah.
and then G for short is still sick.
So this is the thing, dude. My parents, like everybody in my house, my sisters, they call me Gibran, or they call me G as well. But like my parents is Gibran, right? 8th grade, I take a Spanish for Spanish speakers class, right? I speak Spanish. That's my first language, but I never studied Spanish. I never went to school. I don't know like fucking where accents go and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
like,
mean, it's how you grow up speaking English.
exactly.
And shit, yeah.
It's my mother tongue, like Spanish. You know. So in 8th grade, I decided, because there's this class that's like, oh shit, like I want to kind of take this class. It's gonna be an easy A. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
First day of class, bro, the teacher's like taking roll, and she's like, Gibran Huerta. And I'm like, oh, it's me, but it's actually Gibran. And she just like fucking goes at me, bro, in front of the whole class. No, it's not, because the G in Spanish is pronounced like an H when it's followed by a vowel. And blah, blah, blah. I was just like, holy shit, bro, I've been saying my name wrong all these years. So I went through like a rebrand in 8th grade, dude, to like call myself Gibran. And then I found out that it has an accent on the A and shit. So, but the G thing comes from just like Little League. The coach was just like, I don't know how to say your name. We're just gonna call you G, and I just stuck from there on. But it's now become part of my persona, because it's like, well, even my parents call me G as well. My sisters call me G. My sister's kids call me Theo G.
Ah,
You know
that's
what I'm
tight.
saying?
Yeah.
So like, it's
dope.
like when I, I'm gonna say it on this podcast. Fuck it, but like, when I go to Starbucks, which sometimes I do.
Hey, it's all good.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I have no hate.
Like I'll say like, what's your name? Like G. Just really just one letter? Yeah, just G. Because when I say my whole name, it's just always like, how do you spell it? And most of the time, bro, like even though I like really will use like the whole like military system, like G for golf, I for India, B for Bravo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They'll still
yeah.
like misspell it. I always get like Gil Brown, Gabron with a G. Oh, with an A. Sorry, Gabran. So G is my preferred method.
Dude, I mean, English is my first language, definitely, and I would not say I speak English or Spanish fluently. Shit, barely English, but like I took, I think 5 years of Spanish, like actually speaking Spanish, and like going to Spain and going around Mexico and stuff, and like I can get myself around, no problem. Complex, no chance. Like I can speak and do like wander off and do my own thing, but if I'm like with my boy Ray Ray, like if I start, it's like, oh fuck, like I'll look at Ray Ray, I'll be like, dude, what do you say? And I'll be like, I caught like every other word, or something like that. But being my entire name is Hispanic, it's Cano Alonso Cardenas.
Yeah, it's a very like Spanish name too. Like I know Cano. Like
See, there's a thing though. Like much like you, growing up, I fucking hated my name
roll
because,
call was like you hated it,
bro,
right?
Kano, dude. Somebody would look at my name, Cano, and they would say Connor Cardenas. I was like, dude, there's not even a fucking ER there. Like, how are like, it was so annoying to me.
Did you have a nickname or no? Like
no, I didn't. It was just
you rolled with it.
I always dude. That's how it's been my entire life. As of late, because of Instagram, I've had people come up to me. You're Isaguchi thing, and I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm Kano. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not a tag handle, but
I like the name, dude. It's cool.
Thank
It's just
you.
4 letters.
Dude, that's
Kano.
I love it. But like when I'm here in the States, it's Cano Alonso Cardenas. And then when I started going to Spain or Mexico, it just I don't know, like getting in touch with the culture, or like I don't know, having a connection, because like my family is like, my Irish side is like looks like chicken pox. Like everybody in Ireland is like, yo, they were fucking. You know, they were getting down. In Mexico, but dude, we're like from Jalisco. Like there's no other else. That's where our family's from, and everybody's like either white or just super dark. And like my dad is super dark too.
Yeah, Jalisco has like a lot of like French, like a lot of French people came.
Is that well? So like my grandfather, my great grandfather is from Spain. He was a Spaniard, and then he met my great grandmother, who was straight up Indian. And it was just to see the contrast. It made sense that our family there's nobody really like light skinned. It's either you're white or you're dark as shit, and that's kind of it. But to go back to Mexico or just to go into any Latin speaking country, and then I like, you know, ¿Cómo te llamas? Or something like that. I'd be like, Cano, and they'd be like, Cano, like what? And I was like, Alonso Cardenas. They're like, pero like, and they're like, but you're so white, and I was like, I know, but like, what? I can't, whatever. And I was bust out a picture of my dad. I'd be like, it's my dad. Like, what the fuck, you know?
I
like,
can't believe it. Yeah,
they're like, but you don't speak Espanol. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I don't, not that much, but it's like, I came from a different era of like, even talking to my grandmother. My grandmother was on the show, and native speaker Spanish, but she talked about, she didn't really teach the kids Spanish too much because she used to get beat. But then my father, and there's 7 boys in my family, if you will. So there's 7 uncles, my dad being one of them. The first 2 are the only 2 who spoke Spanish as their first language. So my father and then my uncle Rogelio are the only 2 who spoke Spanish as their first language. And they would tell us stories about how my uncle Rogelio would get taken out, and they'd make my dad watch him get beat for speaking Spanish at school. And like, you speak English. And then they would take him out, take my dad out, and make my uncle Rogelio watch my dad get beat.
Man, that's crazy.
For speaking Spanish, because they grew up in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in like Donna, Texas, like super small town.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's, you know, when you talk to Mexican people or Latinos or whatever, Hispanics, however you want to say it, like, they're like, how do you have such a Mexican name and you don't speak Spanish? And it's like, bro, like, I had to go out on my own and learn Spanish, because our family was like, no, you ain't gonna learn Spanish. You're speaking English. Like, we want to make it easier for you. And they've said that multiple times.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting. Like,
It is. It's
you
crazy.
grew up here?
So I grew up in San Diego. Yeah, San Diego. And then I always say like I grew up in San Diego and TJ, even though I've like lived my whole life in San Diego, but my parents are both from Tijuana.
Okay.
So my families are like on both sides of the border, like aunts, uncles, cousins. So growing up was never just like here. It was like, oh, we're going to TJ for so-and-so's birthday, or we're going down to your grandma's house, or dentist appointments, or whatever, like quinceañeras. It was just always like a constant back and forth. So that in itself is just like a total mindfuck when you're a kid, because you're like, you don't see like the idea of a border as like anything real. It's just like, oh, we're just going to TJ. It's not like we're going to another country. It's like we're just going to TJ. You know what I mean? Like, and we're going back home to San Diego. But it's there's a freaking border in the middle, and
You didn't see the contrast though, even as a child.
well, there definitely saw the contrast, but never made a big deal over it. Like it was never like oh man, like we're in a country right now, like. But after 9/11, kind of like things changed with the whole like just crossing the border. We were just talking about this yesterday actually, but before, like back in the days, like before 9/11, getting from TJ to San Diego, which again, like the border here is the busiest border on planet Earth, right? Like pedestrian, like foot traffic, terrestrial border. And back in those days, man, you could cross the border. Like my parents had a green card, of course. Like they would show their green card, and us, my brother, my siblings, all we had to say was U.S. citizen. So like the guy would come up, guy or girl, like, hey, what are you guys bringing back from Mexico today? Oh, and, tortillas or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would just say U.S. citizen, and the guy would just be like, just wave us in. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no showing anything.
Yeah.
Like no IDs, nothing, bro. Like no passports. Like it's just like you just said U.S. citizen, and that's it. And the guy would have to take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just gnarly. And then 9/11 comes around, and then you needed to have like an ID to get across, and they would actually check it and all these things. So like it started becoming real after that. But before that, it was just like, because even as a teenager, you grow up and you go to TJ to do things teenagers shouldn't be doing, which is like
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's like growing up here. I've lived in a couple other cities aside from San Diego as an adult, but I moved back here and like officially in 2014, back home. Yeah,
dude, that's funny just about that point. Like I've seen the evolution of the border. I remember the first time I went to TJ, I was 19. Like we're talking about this for the podcast. Like I moved from the Bay Area. My best friend at the time got into San Diego State, and I was living in LA, and she was 18 and I was 19, and she was like, I got into state, you had to come down. So we went down and we're like partying, and they were like one night like, yo, let's go to TJ. And I was like, they're like, we can drink there. I was like, where?
Legally,
legally drink in the clubs. I was like, in the club? Oh, let's go. And so we went, and I remember on the way back, we were all so shit-faced, and they were like, yo, we can be as drunk as we want, but we have to make sure we're sober when we're getting in that line to come back. All you got to do is show your ID. It's all you got to do. And it's like, all right. And then sure enough, like even with my Mexican ass sound and name, like I showed my ID. They're like, where do you live? I was like, Los Angeles. And they were like, okay, cool. Go ahead. That was it.
That's it.
But my homie, Jeff, he's a U.S. citizen, but he was born in Germany, but he's Asian. And he stood in line, and he was super wasted, and he has his passport, or like he had his ID, but he had like I think it's like the equivalent of like a green card, because he wasn't actually a U.S. citizen at the time. So he like walks across, and the dude was like, you're from Germany? What are you doing in Mexico? And he's like, oh, I go to San Diego State. I'm a student. And he's like, but here's my information. He's like, you're Asian. You're from Germany, and you're in Mexico. And he got detained at the border, and we had to wait for like 30, 40 minutes because they didn't believe. They thought he was like he was trying to cross illegally. And then I was like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah, so Jeff's from Germany, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, dude, the border can ruin your day if you don't, like, I always tell my homies that I cross with, like, for the first time, or just people that because I happen to, ever since I moved back, like, I get a lot of requests from friends or friends of friends, or like even journalists, because like a lot of friends that are like acquaintances of mine that happen to know journalists, because I'm friends with like a lot of chefs and things like that. They'll always send the like journalists to me to kind of take them down to TJ or down to Ensenada, and I become like a point of reference. I've become that over the years. So like a lot of people come through San Diego, and it sucks for SD because a lot of times like people will land here, but they don't even want to check out SD. They want to go straight down to TJ or down to Ensenada, which is where all these really fun and exciting things have been going on for the last like 10 years or so.
Yeah. Things are popping off down there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So like it's just like every time it's like, oh yeah, they'll come across, and I always give them like the just like the tips, right? Like, all right, when you go to the border, you know, take off your hat. You know, when the guy asks you, just like make sure you do things to set you up for success, right? So
Yeah.
like you're about to cross, you're wearing a hat, take it off. You're wearing sunglasses, take them off. Roll the windows down. You know, make sure your pockets are empty of any shit that you might have in there that's illegal. I just got to remind people all these things because it's like, dude, you don't want to fuck around. Like you're crossing an international border that happens to be like pretty big deal in terms of like just all the things that probably shady shit that happens. So they're always
True.
on the lookout over there. So yeah, man, grew up here in this crazy border town. You know,
It's interesting you're calling it a border town because you always hear people refer to TJ as the border town, but never San Diego. They're like, oh, you're going to SD. It's like, well, yeah, it's totally a border town too. Like,
yeah,
duh.
it's probably I think it's like the coolest border town on earth because
Mhm.
it's like the mix of like there's other border towns obviously. Like I would say like the other cool one would be like Hong Kong and Guangzhou or whatever, like the Chinese like mainland with Hong Kong border. I think it's pretty interesting. But like the border here, like the contrast, bro, of like first world to third world.
Bro,
You
have
know?
you seen the El Paso and Juarez?
I haven't. I have not been there. No.
Bro, like I mean, as far as all around amazingness, like for lack of a better term, all around, I would say quality of life, and then just ability to have fun on both sides for sure. TJ and SD, hands down. But as we were talking before the podcast too, I skateboarded. That's what I did for a living for a very, very long time. And I was on tour once, and we did like an entire state of Texas tour, 2 weeks in the whole fucking state. It's so big.
Mm-hmm. It's huge.
And we the first town we drove into on tour, we drove in from LA, and it was like a van full of, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it was like 7 or 8 of us, and we got into El Paso, and we met this kid named Rudy, and he was our guide. He showed us around the entire city, and it was like, dude, this place is crazy. Apparently, El Paso at the time was the safest city on the planet, but it's bordered next to the most dangerous city on the planet,
Juarez. Right?
Juarez. And then, like, one night he takes us, and like we left a bunch of weed with him. They were like, hey, like weed is super legal in Texas. Keep this weed for us when we're coming back. And we ended up getting detained and a bunch like in like the middle of the state, and all these things happened. So 2 weeks come back, and we're coming back, and we're like, yo, Rudy has the rest of our weed. Oh shit, hell yeah, blah blah. Meet up with Rudy, and he's like, yo, I got a spot for us. Let's go roll a couple blunts. Let's go kick it on this spot. And he took us to this mountaintop in El Paso, and it was like you could legit overlook, and you could see all the shanties and just all this stuff, because like Juarez is kind of on a hill. So like it's like flat down here, and then it's like one random hill in El Paso, and then it's just like this rolling hill.
The whole city's on a hill, right?
Bro.
Yeah, that's how TJ looks too when you drive down.
It was incredible. And to your point, the contrast of first world to third world. And it wasn't even like, you don't even need to be on that hill. We were at University of Texas El Paso, just skating that college, and we were looking to the right, and like I know you know hip hop, but I don't know if you're familiar with like UGK, like Pimp C and Bun B.
I don't. I'm not familiar.
They're a Texas rap group.
Okay.
Like old school, and they're just like riding on blood, chopping blades, like just like pioneers in the hip hop game. And I was bumping UGK, and like I remember just like looking to my right, and I was like, I looked at Rudy, I was like, yo, is that Juarez right there? And they were like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And it's like, dude, even in the daytime you could see it, like, because it's fucking right there.
Yeah.
And it was just like you're literally just driving across. I'm like, they got the college right here, and like you could see. He's like, dude, he was telling me so much crazy shit about that place, like, because I mean it's obviously it's dangerous. You watch any like crime documentary or whatever, they talk about it, but he's like, bro, it's super like common that the cartel would load up the trunks of like bodies and shit, and they would come and just drop them off in the streets here, and then like
that's gnarly.
or they would like come over here, kill people, and then they would drive them back across the border, and then if like you fucked with them, they would take the bodies and like leave the heads and the bodies and like in the shanty streets and be like, this is what happens when you fuck with us.
Yeah, that's definitely how it goes for sure. Like they don't. Yeah, dude. That shit is definitely real down there. Like I've never seen a head before, but like I've seen some shit, and obviously like the mid 2000s, early 2000s were pretty rough down there.
Yeah.
Just like people just being scared and like terrorized basically by a lot of shit. So that's why it's so good to see like some of the changes that have happened in the last like I said, I want to say since 2009
Okay.
was when I first started like feeling and seeing some of those changes come to life.
I mean,
That's good.
I mean, that being said, I mean, like, dude, there's still so much amazing shit to do in TJ. I mean, like, even just going to like a Cholos game,
Yeah.
bro, I have the best time. It is so fun down there in the most ghetto stadium ever.
Yeah, dude, it's ghetto.
It's so ghetto. Like half the barbed wires, like it's like the
Because it doesn't even look like a stadium. That's the thing. It's like I was actually passing by it yesterday because I was down in TJ yesterday. And I was like, dude, like, how the hell did they get away with this? You know what I mean? Like making this like a stadium, like, and it fits
and it's
like
packed.
yeah, dude, it fits like 30K or something, like maybe more. But yeah, it's nuts.
amazing.
Yeah, and they're actually pretty good. They've won like the championship, and TJ's baseball team right now, the professional baseball team in TJ actually just won the champion. Like they're the champions of the Mexican League as well.
Okay, whoa, I didn't even know about the baseball games.
Yeah. Oh, those are like
Yo,
next level too.
I have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Okay, we keep getting on these tangents. We're already like a half hour into the conversation, and we haven't even actually talked about like so. You know, you came on the show because I met you a couple weeks ago. Only a couple weeks ago now.
So you can edit it to start from here, dude. If
Dude,
you really
no,
want
fuck
to.
that. Fuck that. No, I mean that's just how it's to Siri Simmeren's credit. Like I feel she was like, I feel like you guys are
Shout
gonna
out
hit it
to
up.
Siri.
Dude, shout out. This definitely happened because of Siri.
And Pablo. Pablo had a lot to do with it too.
Pablo Lara?
No, Pablo's Siri's dog.
Oh,
Dude.
dude.
Pablo's a shit, dude.
I was about to say Pablo Lara. Sorry,
Shout
Pablo.
out to Pablo. Dude.
We met at the first event back for this San Diego Coffee Network.
Mm-hmm.
You were spinning records, and you sponsored it essentially. But I, you know, per Siri Simran, I wanted to get you on the show and talk to you. But then I was actually able to go to your spot. So you own. Would you call it a coffee shop?
It's a hard, like, I don't call it a coffee shop because it's also, I call it right now, the space that you went to, I call it like my studio, like my lab almost.
Okay. But you serve coffee.
I serve coffee.
Okay.
And that's the thing. I'm working on a couple different concepts that I want to put out there. And we'll dive a little deeper on this if you want, but like,
Please dive super deep.
yeah, so like I'm basically using the space as like a lab to kind of R&D a couple different concepts of like food and beverage concepts that I want to put out.
Mm-hmm.
All of them with this element of hi-fi or audiophile culture attached to it, right? So coffee is like the one that I've always have been wanting to do, like coffee and the burritos, like the TJ style burritos that I do. So when I had the opportunity because of COVID, it was like, that was my first like thing. Actually, even before COVID, I started doing the pop-ups, but when I had the chance to truly like come up on a space, I was like, okay, cool. Well, I want to experiment with whiskey, like a whiskey bar, natural wine and all this stuff. But because I have at least like 3 or 4 concepts that I've been working on for the last like 6 years in like terms of like mood boarding them and just kind of like researching. Mood boarding, yeah, like putting together mood boards for like different concepts that I have for this brand, this branch that I want to create of my brand. So to rewind just a little bit, even before we met and before this last year, like I used to run an agency for food and beverage. So my agency would basically be like the creative like branch, or in some points like we're almost like an in-house team for a lot of the restaurants that we work with, but they would basically like hire us to do design, content, strategy, like digital, mostly digital stuff.
Okay.
So my background's in hospitality and food and beverage, like since I was 16. So when I moved back to San Diego and started to kind of like plan my next move, it just kind of happened naturally where I was like, well, I love social media and I love restaurants. Let me just help restaurants get on Instagram. And this was like 2013, 14.
Dude, how old are you?
I am 36.
Okay, I was like, the way you talking, I'm like, bro, you gotta be older. Like, I was like, I didn't think you were younger.
I'm
but
a
like,
come años, bro. That's how they call it in Spanish. It's like I look younger than what I am.
Yeah.
And I get that shit all the time. I used to hate it when I was like 21, and they're like, "Oh, you're 16." It's like, fuck you, man.
dude, no, I get it. Cause I'm 35 too. I mean, I'm definitely starting to look older now, but I was talking about you the other day to one of my homies, and I was like, dude, I was talking to this fool, and I was like, I don't want to ask how old he was, but I was like, I feel like he's older. I was like, yeah. Okay. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But go ahead.
Yeah. So in essence, bro, like the agency life of having this really cool and successful agency for the last 8 years, you know.
Did you start it?
Yeah, I started it.
Okay.
Yeah, I started. And then before that, I was working with like in the finance industry, but not I'm not a numbers guy at all, but I worked for banks, essentially developing dining programs for like credit card companies. So like my last 2 gigs were with American Express and Citibank with a focus on Latin America. So I used to like get hired to like design dining programs for card holders for like really high net worth credit cards for the Amex portfolio in Latin America. So
Jesus.
I would go around and meet restaurants and be like, hey, we want to send card members over here. Can we negotiate a deal with you to when Kano comes in with his fucking black card so that he can get a free glass of champagne? He feels like, oh my God, Amex loves me. This is like a, you know, besides reservations.
Yeah.
So I got to like meet a bunch of chefs.
It's like a perk, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like a lot of times, like the journalists that have come to me is just because like all my chef homies that happen to be like, you know, like Alex Atala, like, you know, bigger name chefs that I've worked with in the past that I've, you know, just kind of stayed in touch with and stuff. Like there's just connections, and like, you know, I always tell younger kids like, man, just leverage your network, man. Like always try to like stay in touch with the people that you've done kind of work with, because it kind of just ends up being something bigger at some point. So, dude, just working with that. And that's where I really noticed that there was like this huge wave coming of like, dude, like all these restaurants that I'm fucking trying to get on these dining programs, none of them have an Instagram account. And it's 2013. And Instagram's 3 years old by then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm living, you know, I've spent, and at the time, like before that, like I was living in SF because the main office was in San Francisco. And so being in SF in 2010, like seeing Instagram like be born, seeing Uber be born, seeing Tinder be born, all these apps that are like basically changed everybody's life. I was just like, dude, what are these banks doing this stupid shit, bro? Like you got to get on Instagram. And I used to like pitch that shit all the time, bro. Like, all right, we should start doing digital stuff. They're like, nah, we don't know if that's going to work. And I'm just like, dude, I'm wasting some of the best creative years of my life working with fucking banks that don't see the bigger picture here, and it's kind of fucking pissing me off. So when I moved back, that was my plan. It was like, dude, let me try to help hospitality businesses kind of get up to speed. So that's what we did for 8 years. Last year, 2020. Yeah, 2020. Forget what year we're in, dude. Does that happen to you this year? Like, I just feel like 2021 is still 2020. Like,
bro, I literally, I will like, say that I utilized 2020 as like just a year to regroup. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely say like, yeah, I forget that we're in 2021 and we're about to damn near be in 2022. Like, yeah, it's 2 years like that.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, dude, so yeah, we started this company and we started working with like badass hospitality brands. Primarily, most of our work took place down in. So I was like kind of like the selling point. We're based in California, but we service Latin America. So a lot of our projects were in Colombia, Brazil, Mexico. Obviously, was like the big market for us. But we would do everything from like management, social media, content development, strategic partnerships. So like some of the restaurants that I work with had like really, like I guess I would call them celebrity chefs. That brands wanted to work with. So I would act almost like as an agent for these chefs to be like, oh,
a rep essentially.
Yeah. Tabasco, you want to work with this guy? All right, cool. Well, I'm going to protect my chef to make sure that you don't take advantage of them. Because working with the credit cards as well, I was like on the other side of the table. I wasn't really looking after the chefs too much. I was trying to get something from them. And most of the time it would be like, yo, like it sucks having to give away free food and free shit. Like that shouldn't be the benefit. The benefit should be more experiential.
Mm-hmm.
That was always my vibe. So,
Well, you're creative. Like
mhm.
that's what I feel like most creatives are always trying to do more of the experience.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Because like if you're creating this, like you're creating the experience for the consumer or the client or whoever it is, you want to like give and give and give. And that's what I find most creators they know how to give at an exponential rate, but they don't know how to like monetize it, or they don't know how to take care of
Quantify
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Oh yeah. No, it's totally a thing, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm back, but since I've been working with restaurants and brands on like literally like starting a brand from scratch, I've always been behind the scenes like, dude, they shouldn't be doing this. They should be focusing on this instead. Because a lot of restaurants I found would always focus on like these crazy like things that I felt didn't matter. It's like they would have like crazy meetings over like, which are things that are very justifiable in my book, but crazy like 3-4 hour meetings about like, plates and things like that, and what plates and what forks should we use and this and that, which again are very justifiable things, but we're talking about things that you're spending a lot of time on before you even have a single person in your restaurant, before you even have a single follower on your Instagram account. So I was always thinking all these years, like, dude, like, why don't these restaurants start backwards? Why doesn't somebody start a restaurant backwards? Like, start building a community of followers on IG or Twitter or whatever, and start building the restaurant around what they want, and always be running it through a feedback loop of like, oh shit, people didn't like this fucking thing. All right, I'm gonna switch it up. Oh, people like this. All right, cool. Well, let's do this now. Let's add a little twist to that and start building a concept based around like it's just a constant feedback loop. Most of the time it was restaurants like getting together, rich people, mostly like rich investors, like, oh yeah, this is gonna work, and like thinking
They
that
don't
you
really know what they're talking about.
exactly
Yeah.
thinking that you landed like, dude, like, yeah, we got the perfect space, we just spent $3 million on the build, we got the best chef, and then you open and it's like, dude, we need followers, man. We need Instagram followers. We need people in this place. So with that being said, like I had this idea of like starting backwards, right? And I would pitch it to because we would get at the agency like clients that would literally come to us from scratch, like, yeah, we have all these, we have this concept, we just need branding, we need to eventually do social media for it, blah blah blah. And I was always like, hey, why don't you guys do some pop-ups, and then we can kind of like, nah man, we don't want to do it, this is going to be a hit, we know it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Of course it is.
and then they open and it's like, and the biggest thing for me that I used to hate is being like an agency, and we used to have 10 people on the team. So, with a team, having to deal with the stress of like a client coming to you like, man, we need followers. We need to get to 10,000 followers by next month. It's like, bro, that's not how social media works. Dude? Well, just buy the followers. It's like, that's not how we work. Our agency is not.
People see
that
through
kind of
that shit too.
Exactly. It's just
Yeah.
like you're just lying to yourself. So I would always kind of pitch what I thought was, and I would always get shot down. So this was 2015 already. So it was a couple of years into having, a year and a half of moving back. And I was like, dude, it would be sick to just start backwards, man. Like, so at that moment, I also went to Japan for the first time, right? And that was on my 30th birthday. I went to Japan by myself. And solo, bro. Yeah. And at the time, I had already been DJing, like collecting records, like really involved just with DJ culture and stuff. And a friend of mine is like, dude, you got to check out JBS Bar in Shibuya. You're going to love it. It's amazing. It's like everything that you love. It's like records and like this. I'm like, oh, dude, that sounds pretty cool. So I go to this bar and I just kind of have like this moment where I'm like, holy shit. This is like the intersection of hospitality and audiophile culture in one place. Wow, this is nuts. And then I went to a couple other listening bars and coffee shops. I started seeing like a trend not a trend, but just like a reoccurring theme. It's like hi-fi, turntables, and coffee, turntables and barbershop, turntables and retail, turntables.
This is in Japan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and bar, turntables and whiskey bar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
so I came back and I was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I started asking some of my clients, which at the time were like hotels, restaurants. I was like, hey, I'll DJ for free at your spot just to kind of test some stuff out. So I used to like post up at the lobbies of the hotels and just play and things like that. But at the same time, I was kind of starting to like build, kind of like just taking notes, like, oh shit.
Ideas.
You know what I'm saying? Putting it out there to see if people liked it. So that's kind of when I started to realize that I want to do this eventually, but I want to make sure that I can do it in my terms, which is like starting backwards. So right now what you see at Longplay is me starting a couple concepts backwards, right? So the coffee is the first one, which is for me like my baby. You know what I mean? Like, because I love coffee. And I've been brewing and just all these travels that I've done because of my old job. Like that's, I think we were talking about the other day. It's like any new city that I went to is like, what's the top coffee shops that I got to go to?
You said you didn't want to go to like the normal stuff. You wanted to go, you wanted to talk to people at the coffee shop, or you want to like find out where to go from the locals and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that. Getting that true experience.
Yeah. So I would never plan I would never look up, like, obviously restaurants was easy because I was working with chefs and stuff like that. But just, it's not always about, like even the best chefs in the world, man, they don't eat at the kind of places that they cook at. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
They all eat street food and they all eat, like, McDonald's and, like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, bro, yes.
It's like, it's not as, like, glamorous as you would think. So, I always found that going to a coffee shop was always a good, like, departure point for just figuring out all kinds of shit. So like it would always be like, all right, let me find the 3 best coffee shops, go there, chat up the baristas, like, hey, what's a good place to eat lunch? What's a good record shop? Anything that I should see? And then kind of piece together like, oh, I went to 3 coffee shops. Everybody said I should go to this place. I'm going to go to that place, you know? So just being in that world, I knew I wanted to do coffee and hi-fi first.
Okay, real quick. I know this sounds like a stupid question. Hi-fi. You keep saying hi-fi. What is that? What is like the definition of that? I don't know what that means.
So hi-fi just basically is shortened for high fidelity.
Okay.
So high fidelity is a term that's used for like audio that's like really well thought out.
Okay.
So back in the days, like I'm talking about maybe like, let's just say like 40s, 50s, 60s. Like people in their homes, they would say like, oh yeah, like let's go listen to records on my hi-fi, or like everybody had like a hi-fi system. So that means that they had a record player, but with like an amp, speakers. Cause like, you know, back in those days, if you wanted to listen to music at your house, you had to have a record player.
Yep.
And most of the record players at the time required, you know, amps, speakers, you know, a record player. So they would call that like a hi-fi, high fidelity system.
Okay.
The term across the years has kind of become like hi-fi. It's like really high end like audio shit. Like a Bluetooth speaker is not like a hi-fi system.
Okay.
Or like you know, just like a boombox wouldn't be like nowadays. Hi-fi is associated to like really high end speakers or like amps or like needles on your records or like record weights. Like there's all these like things that make up hi-fi culture these days, with Japan kind of being like at the forefront of like, we all take notes from Japan because they just kill it out there with the way they do it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. High fidelity.
High fidelity. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to
So
cut you off.
hi-fi.
I was like, I don't want to, I just needed to know because you keep referring to it. It's like, I don't understand.
No, it's good to know because it's like, it's such a cool like acronym too. Like hi-fi. It just sounds really cool.
Well, there's like lo-fi.
Lo-fi as well. Yeah.
I love lo-fi hip hop. So that's why I thought it was more like a play on that. But no.
But it's crazy is because lo-fi can be hi-fi also. Like, I mean, you can listen to like lo-fi hip hop on a high fidelity sound system, and it, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
There you go.
it's like, it gets deep, bro. It gets deep, but you know, like it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, man, that's what I'm doing at the shop. So it's not necessarily it is a coffee shop, but it's also like a couple other things that I'm testing out. The goal is to figure out, you know, if coffee is something that I want to pursue in terms of like actually creating a shop exclusively dedicated to just coffee and high fidelity audio. And it is like, I think this last year and a half that I've been doing it exclusively, because I have put aside all client work for the last year and a half, it definitely works. You know what I'm saying? It definitely works. And the fact that I'm building the brand backwards, like I just have this little studio space in a neighborhood that not a lot of people know too much about, you know? And I kind of do my own thing out there, but I'm just waiting to pounce on the perfect space. Like once the perfect space opens up, I can be like, that's it. That's the place I want to actually throw down some money and build out like a real espresso bar and like all these things. But right now I'm just waiting, because I'm again, like I'm starting backwards. There's no rush, because at the same time I'm waiting, but my Instagram account is growing. My TikTok account is growing. Like I'm not necessarily like not just doing nothing, waiting around for the perfect space to come around. I'm just doing these pop-ups every week, creating content, DJs, streams, like all these things, like essentially just creating the community first. And that's kind of just going to eventually, at some point, you know, knock on wood, maybe someday I have 10,000 followers that I can just be like, oh, okay, guess what? We're no longer here. We're now over there.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier than opening up and being like, hey, we're here, to 0 followers. You know what I mean?
100%.
And that's how like old school restaurants open, bro. And it's like, why you guys keep doing that? You know, like it would be cool to start backwards. So the bigger picture is that as an agency, my agency has not disappeared from the face of the earth.
I was going to say, you referenced, you're like, I stopped doing work for a year and a half.
It's been on hiatus.
So you still have it.
Yeah. And the thing is that it has been doing work because Longplay.Hifi is the baby of Longplay Studio. Okay. And the thing is that like I'm creating a case study for like in the end of this year. It's going to be 1 year. So by next October, the concept will be 2 years old. At that point, I hope to have like a well-developed case study where I can actually potentially maybe win more business based on my model. To be like, approach new restaurants I want to open up. Like, hey, run it through my model. We'll find a vacant space. We'll pop it up for fucking 6 months. Tweak it. And then at the end of 6 months, we'll turn in like what do you call it? Like a report card, almost like, all right, we think that you should pursue opening up this restaurant. Or we'll be like, yo, nobody likes fucking Baba Ganoush and Hi-Fi, man. It's just not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you should think about adding like, you know, shawarma or something. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
like,
I feel you.
It's like I want to create a model that can be used for future restaurants and food and beverage brands to kind of work with. And I honestly think that COVID has been something that's helped the cause, because nowadays it's like people are realizing the importance of like, if you went to COVID with 10,000 followers, like your restaurant did not suffer as much as restaurants that were just starting or that had, you know, 100 followers that never took social media seriously. But if your restaurant was just on social before and COVID happened and you're just like, yo, we're just doing pickups now, people are going to support, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of places in this last year kind of have realized the importance of community, and it just kind of helps my cause, because it's like, yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like the community of followers and people that you're creating around your brand is way more important than the actual space.
When people identify with it, they can be a part of something. I mean,
because the space can be here today and then tomorrow you can be somewhere else, and people are not gonna they're not gonna leave you, man. You know, if you're doing something good, people will stick around, and that's the beauty of everything. Like, dude, people are cool, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there's
People are
like
nice.
that age-old saying, like it's like you can have 100 dedicated customers, and you can have a surviving or a thriving business. You don't have to have, you know,
Mm-hmm.
millions of followers and a million customers. I mean, granted, yes, fantastic, and that's the ideal. But if you have 100 committed or even 50 committed customers, you're gonna be able to survive on your business because those people are gonna ride for you regardless.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, to your point, Caffeine and Green started as a podcast, and I did it all on my own. You know, when you start Instagram, I mean, for people who don't know, I'm sure everybody who knows, but you start with 100. They give you 100, and it's like really like there's really 100 is like zero essentially, right? You don't start with just zero,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 100. And I grew it to, I think it got to like, I don't know, 600-700 just on my own, just with the podcast. Then when COVID happened, again, to your point, it's like with COVID, I took time to pivot because the coffee shop had closed for a little bit, and then I was roasting only maybe once, twice a week. Through social media, I saw, you know, roasting one day a week, every couple weeks, for maybe, I think the first time I roasted for like 3 or 4 hours because that's all we had for online orders for the shop that I used to work for. And it grew to almost roasting 3 days a week, but it was me in the roastery filming myself. Yo, what's up, guys? All right, we got our orders coming in. We got this. Like, and I was the face.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're doing. And it's not, this is not to sound boastful. It's just like, to your point, it's like, dude, social media, when you can do this and you have your range of followers, your big number of followers, if you will, 5,000, however many it was, 7,000, 8,000 followers for this company, we were able to push online sales through the fucking roof. It
Mm-hmm.
was insane. Fast forward, I'm doing all my editing, I'm doing all this stuff that I've already been doing through skateboarding, but then really had time to like fine tooth comb it and like critique it and like really do stuff that I didn't want to, like, that I wanted to do on my own, whether it was fighting, skateboarding, dogs, you know, weddings, stuff like that, doing these things. And then to create Caffeine and Green, the roasting company, in the time of COVID when it wasn't able to, people weren't able to go out to the coffee shops. I was able to have a successful business in my first year where most businesses fall flat. I was able to break even on my first year in business. That's fucking unheard of. It was all because of COVID and social media. Like, hire a photographer for $250, $300, whatever. Boom, you get your photos for 6 months. And then you have fighters who are training. Where technically it was like, what, illegal? Because you're supposed to like stay at home orders. You're not supposed to be contacting people,
Mm-hmm.
but we're having fighters. And I have my team of fighters. I was doing this thing and we're building a team. I was so busy I couldn't do all the marketing by myself, so I hired a marketing team. I do the content creation, and to your point again, all the content you create, it has to, like, yo, I have marketing calendars and like this app called Asana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, keep your calendar, stay to it, plan it out every day. What are you doing? What's your story? What are we going to do across your personal? What are we going to do across the business? What are we going to do this? Because one feeds the other, right? It's all about content creation. It's about your digital media footprint. What are you doing to help yourself and help your brand grow day in and day out? This doesn't work? Okay, just this, but what this one did work. It's like, oh, okay, so we need to aim more towards that. Oh, I get more followers or I get more views when I have Liav on beating the shit out of some pads or beating the shit out of a person. Okay, Liav, guess what? We're going to film you all the time now. What is Liav doing? What is she doing here? Oh, now we have David. We're going to do this. Oh, David, look, we get this many views when you do it. Okay, boom, we got that. You're seeing results in real time. And if you know how to analyze that, or even just like, I don't know, I don't want to say critique, but like if you utilize it and know how to put it to use, the content and the message, the whatever tagline that you're pushing, the product that you're pushing, whatever you're doing, it helps with social media. And like for every 1,000 views or double taps you get. If you get people, if you can turn sales like out of that, bro, that's a win-win.
Yeah.
And it's free. Yeah, I mean, like
Except when it goes down, like yesterday, bro.
what happened yesterday?
You didn't know, but the great Instagram.
Oh yeah, that's
outage
right.
of
It did.
2021.
It did go out yesterday. I did see that. I was on my Twitter and I was like, oh, okay,
Twitter was
Twitter's
the
on.
only place that was like unscathed in the whole.
What happened yesterday? Like, there's the servers crash or something.
Well,
right?
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Like,
But they're all owned under the same company.
Yeah, like the Facebook suite of apps just like crashed yesterday. It was nuts. It was nuts because, like, yeah, Instagram. Like, I was about to communicate like probably like the biggest change, like in scheduling and like this thing that I've been working for weeks, dude. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna announce it on Monday at 12 noon, and it just like got totally fucked because of like the outage. Realizing how much of power, dude, Instagram has now over the brand. It's kind of scary, but
Yep.
but also like from another's point of view as well, like WhatsApp. Like I was in TJ yesterday, and like Mexico, like everybody's on WhatsApp, dude. Like in Latin America and even in Europe as well. But like the country was like the city. I don't know about other parts of the country, but I'm pretty sure it was like that as well in other parts of Mexico. But dude, it was like people were freaking out because it's like, dude, like we don't have any way of like sending somebody a pin of where we're at, or like,
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like WhatsApp is big down there. So like just like the whole day without it was kind of interesting, and just like everybody was.
Dude, no, my roommate, he's Mexican too, and he has almost all of it. Like, he's very close with his family, and a lot of his family's in Mexico. And he was like, "Hey, is Instagram acting up for you today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure the servers are down." He's like, "Are you on Facebook or WhatsApp?" And I was like, "I'm not on either of those two." But he's like, "That's how I keep in contact with my family in Mexico, and we talk all the time, and I can't get a hold of them today."
Yeah.
And so he's like, all of them are down. And I was like, "Oh shit." That's why I was on my Twitter. I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't promote my Twitter at all. I literally just do it because I like doing it to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And to know how to utilize the platform, because like I don't want to get involved in that back and forth with like that toxicity of that platform.
With the net bangers.
I mean, whatever you want to call it, the comment fucking gougers,
Trolls.
like trolls, whatever. Like what I've come away, I think, with 2020 and then definitely into 2021 is I don't like putting labels on things, but like I'm a content creator. I like creating content. I'm a creative.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not it's roasting coffee or coming to film stuff with you, like, dude, I remember when I would do a piece or a project and it would take me fucking all day, 8 hours, just sitting there like editing, fine tooth combing.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I can like look at it. Like when we went and filmed your piece the other day,
Yeah.
I already knew. And then it was like the total amount was 9 minutes of footage. I trimmed it down in probably an hour to a little bit like 2 minutes.
Dude, you got that out quick. I even texted you, dude. I was like, dude, I respect that, dude. Like,
Well, no, that was just that was my phone.
mm-hmm.
The cameras, I have it in my room. I'll show it to you. I have all I have to do is a little bit of color correction. But to your point too, again yesterday, I was gonna release the edit I did yesterday to promote for today, but it was down. So I just finally when it went back up, I put that photo of you up. Tomorrow to promote this when it goes out is I'm gonna put the edit out, and the edit
Nice.
is buttery. So
Can't wait to see it, dude.
dude. It's gonna. I'll show it to you after this, but like it. It took me a couple hours, if that, and it's just like but see it again to that when it doesn't happen a lot where I'm completely inspired. But even though it's your studio and it's your creative space to like kind of work things out, as soon as I walked in, I had the most New York feel. And I love New York. I think New York is like just a breeding ground of creative culture in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's beautiful, yeah.
it's like it's like San Francisco, but better in the sense where like this is where everybody came. This is like when they were coming from like the Europe or Asia or whatever. They come through that little
Island. It's an island.
gate, if you will,
Yeah.
like this cultural gate where they bring all of their culture to our country and make it a melting pot. and put their spin on it. And then like I've been to spots in New York where like you're like, yo, is this a spot? And it's like, this doesn't look like it. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, let me go into here. Kind of San Francisco though too. Like there's this spot in like San Francisco called Lipos. They didn't survive COVID, but it was one of my favorite spots when I was living in the city, or living in the Bay Area, I should say. You go to Lipos and it's like in Chinatown, and Chinatown will be shut down. But Lipos is open till like 3 a.m. and you go and you can't hear it from the street, and you're walking these deserted ass Chinese streets or Chinatown streets, and then you walk in and it's like, dude, Anthony Bourdain went there, and it's like they have these drinks that just get you smashed. And then you walk in, it's like this little hole in the wall, like little bar, and you're like, is this the spot? And then you're like, you open the door, like, oh, this is the spot. And then you go downstairs and there's like some ghetto ass fans, but they have like a DJ just in the back, like spinning records, and there's like this little ghetto ass dance table, like, or dance floor. And then people just sitting off in the cut, like having a good time with their homies. And it's like, you only know about the spot if you're like a local or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when I first walked up to your spot on that Sunday, I drove by it twice, not even knowing that that's where it was. And then I'm like, no, my thing says it's right here. So like I walked up, the door was locked, and then like, but you were open or whatever. And like I fucking, or not locked, but like I opened it and I was like, oh shit. And then like you have like that, the newspaper up on the windows, and like, dude, I don't know, man. It just, for me, I don't know how to describe it because it sounds weird, but in my head, like as soon as I walked in, I was inspired, and I described it to you. And from the time you were making me that pour over to the time you walked over, I had already written out the entire shot list on my phone.
Yeah, you told me that too, and it's like, it was dope to see that, dude.
Bro, it was just like so inspired, and it doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, I need to roll with it. And that's why it was like, I think the same thing happened when I edited it the other night. I was just like, it started going down, like here. I got this song. All right, boom, here. And it's like, I don't know, man.
Dope, dude.
I'm
glad it got that for you, dude, because that's the plan. I mean, it's very simple. It's done with a lot of like soul, like heart. There's a lot of heart in there.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work as well, but it's very basic. It's a white box with like stools, tables, whatever you want to call it, a DJ booth, and a bar that can be a coffee bar one day. It could be a wine bar the next.
Well, you have built on crates.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Dude, what was the idea behind the crates?
So to be quite honest with you, I kind of nicked that idea from a coffee shop in Amsterdam, like a pop-up that I saw in Amsterdam years ago. I forget the name of it, but I saw it and I was like, dude, this is awesome. It's like, it's a pop-up, but it looks like really cool. So those crates, they're called EU crates. EU, I'm assuming, is like European Union crates, but like our milk crates here are pretty standard. Like they're all the same.
Yeah.
Like milk crates and anywhere in the States look the same. And when I started looking for these crates, I couldn't find them anywhere here. So it turns out that they're called EU crates, and they're a little bit larger, and they stack up really nice, and they're just really cool looking. So I ended up buying them from China because I couldn't find them here. So I bought them. I had to buy a bulk order of them because you've seen how I use them. I use them for everything.
For everything.
Stack up here to create this. I create like a little thing, and I even have them in the back of house area. I use them as like storage for stuff. I stack them up and I put stuff inside of them. They're really cool, dude. They're really fucking cool. So yeah, just like blue. And people have often asked me if like the color, like, did I use blue because of San Diego? And it's like, no, I just used blue because it was like the color that they had.
Came with it, yeah.
And that's kind of like shaped the brand. That's what I like about when I'm building there. It's like, it's all like, oh, blue. I guess I'll go with blue. Like there's like these shelving units that I got with blue, and like the Hario V60. I have one that's like the blue of the crates.
Yeah, you do. I didn't even realize that till just
now. So I kind of like,
wow.
I've leaned into it. Like, it's like, oh shit. Well, I guess blue is not my favorite color. Shout out to blue anyways. Like, blue's cool, you know what I mean? But like, I'm like, well, I'll lean into blue because like people like it, and it's like kind of what's naturally happened, So it's been really cool, man. And it's like, it is what it is, It's like, I'm not trying to be like, like a crazy Instagrammable place, although it is.
It very much is.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Yeah.
But there's certain things that have not been compromised, which is like the design elements of it, like the hi-fi elements. Like there's, it's very basic, but there's also like really dope turntables and like dope isolation units and a dope speaker system.
Even the artwork though. That's what like the Ghostface Killer with like smoking the blunt with next to Tanashi.
Yeah.
And then you got like the Wild Things of like Denise Richards and that other chick from that movie.
Yeah. From I forget her name. Yeah, but
The girl from Scream.
Yeah. So that's Sneeze Mag. Keith from ACD Gallery gave me a bunch of Sneeze Mags, and I used them to cover the windows. Dude, it's just been like it was like, all right, I'm in a kind of a neighborhood that's still a little rough. I don't want people to be looking in here. What do I do? Like, oh shit, I got all these cool magazines that Keith gave me. I should just use them to put on the window, and it actually looks cool. That's the thing.
It looks so dope.
And then like it's just kind of become a thing now. It's like, oh shit, that actually looks pretty cool.
No, the aesthetic, like to your point, the aesthetic looks phenomenal. And then you have that like abstract piece with the Chronic.
Oh yeah, that's a natural artist. Yeah, that one's badass,
dude. There we go. Boom. Okay, and we're back. So, dude, the one thing I wanted to know more than anything, we're talking about the aesthetic. We're talking about the long play and the hi-fi. You explained it to me. The one thing that I loved, like, which is such a part of the space, is the music and the music selection. Every time I've been in there, whether it was a Ray Osborne or something like that was the first time I went in there. You were playing that record. Where's my phone? I have to.
Yeah, you told me who it was. Let me see.
It was Loving. Let's see here. Let's see here. Boom. There we go. Let's see. I saw you a couple weeks ago for the first time. That was the day. Okay, here we go. Boom. Let's see here. I will tell you right now. It is.
You remember we had this conversation the other day.
Bobby Orz.
Bobby Arosa.
God, that
Bobby
was
Arosa.
way off.
Dude, he's actually going to be in concert at Courtyard this next month. You should totally hit him up.
I'm super down.
Yeah, Bobby Arosa is amazing. So I discovered Bobby in 2020. And became an instant fan. And the dude he's Latino. His parents and his family is like from, I think he's Cuban, Bolivian. Whoa. But he was born and raised in Helsinki. So he's Finnish, but has like this crazy like Latino side of him. And the music that he puts out is like super Chicano. Like it's like very like soldies. So he got signed to Big Crown Records out of Brooklyn and put out that fire debut album.
Dude, that album is so. As soon as I left the shop,
I
put that album on. I listened to it for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's really, really good. Yeah. So Bobby Arosa, like, yeah, you'll see that pop up a couple times, and I'm a big fan of that label in particular. Like, I'll play a lot of stuff from that label. They're really good. Big Crown Records out of Brooklyn. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I want to know. Is like, dude, how? Getting into records, you have to be an avid music listener.
Mm-hmm.
What inspires you day to day? I mean, like, obviously you have a car, you probably have Bluetooth. I imagine you have like Spotify, Apple Music, something along those lines. But you have your vinyl. You're finding things that inspire you on the daily. What inspires you musically from day to day? Is it based on your mood, or is it like wake up one day, you're like, yo, I'm feeling some hip hop, or I want to listen to this soul artist, or is it, or do you have like a more like, how do I say this, more of a musicality that like you focus on one type more than the other, or you love everything?
I love everything.
Okay.
I love everything, man. I think that's one of the things I'm like that defines a good DJ. It's like you got to listen to everything. Mm-hmm. Like you got to listen to Justin Bieber, you got to listen to Billie Eilish, you got to listen to Satanic Chants.
Dude, I know, I'm the same.
Everything, you know what I'm saying? Because there's gems everywhere, and like I don't discriminate at all. in the mornings when I wake up and I'm figuring out what I'm going to play at the shop that morning, there's never like, because I DJ right now I'm toning it down because I'm changing the schedule, but because I DJ so many days a week, like I can't be like designing these like really intricate sets because a lot of times DJs will like really stress out about like putting together the perfect set that sounds perfect with like every song well thought out, and it's like I get that. For DJs that are playing like their one set that's going to be recorded, and that's like they only record 3 sets a year or whatever, like I get it. But like a DJ like myself, like, you know, like I'm playing way more than most DJs in terms of like, you know, 4 or 5 days a week. I can't be spending so much time like designing the perfect set, because one of the things I realized is that the perfect set doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because the days that I have like designed these crazy sets where I'll be like building like records, like putting aside records for like weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to like a certain set that I'm going to do. Not always at the shop, but I get invited to do like in this last year, like live stream. Like I've live streamed a couple sets for like a bar in Tokyo. I did for a friend in Thailand. Like I'll stress out about putting together the perfect set, and then when I'm actually playing, when I'm in the cut, I'll be like, oh shit, bro! Like I actually realized that like my mood today is different. I don't want to play this. I want to play something else.
You feel a different song that might follow this
Yeah.
one song a little bit better.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because I'm like, because something in that day made me trip out something else. So right now, the way I approach it, like at the shop, I'll like wake up, you know, maybe the night before I'll put aside a couple, but I'll wake up and be like, you know what, fuck, today I want to play all jazz. And specifically, I want to play Miles Davis, you know, or John Coltrane or something. And I'll just like pick out records from my collection that morning of, and just take because I don't house all my records at the shop yet, but I'll just kind of pick whatever I want from that day. And yeah, like it has a lot of like Discover Weekly, Spotify influences like a lot of the stuff I buy, but also my homies, like my other DJ friends that are like putting me on to cool shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just listening to like, you know, some of the other DJs that I really respect around the world, or just like even following certain record labels that I like Big Crown, Back at Your Records, Now Again, like labels that are putting out cool shit. Like I follow their IGs, and like they'll throw out a post like, hey, have you guys ever checked out this artist? We're about to release, you know, re-release like X album from 1978. So all my music discovery process these days is just like really like just, it's a combination of online and offline stuff. But I get a lot of stuff from my homies, like them putting me on. I think that's the beautiful thing about DJ culture too, is like it's all about sharing the love, you know, like you found a cool record, you want to like share it with your homies.
Yeah.
You know, like and put them on to something that they didn't know about. So yeah, man, it's a constant discovery process, and you always have to be open to hearing new shit. Cause like somebody would be like, oh dude, like check out this. I'm gonna keep using Justin Bieber as a reference because everybody hates on Bieber.
Dude, I love Bieber.
But you know what I'm saying? But like he has like some good tracks.
He does.
And that's the thing. Like you would, you know, be like, oh dude, like fuck Justin Bieber. But it's like, but if somebody comes to me and is like, yo, like listen to this Bieber track, I'm gonna put on some headphones or whatever. I'm gonna throw it on and listen to it till the end, and make my decision on whether or not I think it's a good song or whatever based on my standards. But I'm never not gonna give music a chance because it could, you know, it could be a total surprise. And I think that's a good approach, not just for music, but in life in general. You gotta like, you know, taste new foods, like experience new things, you know, talk to people that you might not necessarily think you would have anything in common with, you know, like it's good. I think DJing is a good kind of teacher. for how to like
Teacher?
teacher.
Oh, teacher. I was like, I don't know what that word is.
A good teacher for just like for life, man. Like I feel like that same approach that I take with DJing, I've used it to like for food, for example. Like it's like, oh shit, bro, I don't know if I want to eat fucking, like in Japan they have this thing called shirako, which is it's the scrotum of a fish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. And it was always like, well, fuck it, I guess I gotta
Try it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the vibe, you know what I mean? Like, you're never going to know if you're going to like them to try it. So I've taken that approach. I love just being open to music. And I always tell DJs and selectors that come play at Longplay, it's like, the only thing I ask is like, just read the room. You can play, if you want to play like a satanic chant, you know, if you want to follow it up with like Bach or Mozart, like, you can do whatever you want. Just make sure like you're reading the room, because that's the other big part about DJing. It's like, if nobody's enjoying it,
Yeah, it's not a vibe.
It's not like it's different. When you're playing in front of people, you want people to enjoy it, because people are enjoying it. That means they're going to be spending more money buying drinks, or like, you know, sticking around for another couple minutes and talk about it to their friends, as opposed to like, oh shit, this music sucks. Or like, if there's a baby in the audience or a kid, you don't want to play like a Dr. Dre song that's going to be just like 3 minutes of like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck the police, you know, like, it's like, so like, I always ask this, read the room, play whatever you want. And I think a big part of what we do there is, well, is like, hopefully create dialogue for people to be like, oh shit, I never knew that so-and-so covered this song. Oh, actually, it's not a cover. They're the first ones to do it. So-and-so that you said actually covered it from them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it becomes a point of dialogue, and it's like, it makes people talk, which is what I want. I want the space to be able to be that, you know, entryway for people to have conversations about the music, not just listen to it, but take something away from it, you know?
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the reason I was so curious and interested in that is because for me, music is everything. And to your point, like the Justin Bieber, I mean, he's a great example. That in song Intentions with like Quavo from Migos. I mean,
yeah,
I love that song, and I will rock it, no problem. But then at the same time, I mean, again, to your point, when I was getting ready for my fight a couple weeks back, I knew I was locked in mentally, but I knew I needed a couple like tracks that were from my past, you know, going through the years, like songs that I know I needed. And like my playlist, it was like I-20 Fighting in the Club, and it was like Slipknot Sick. And it was like, 'cause I liked like heavy metal, like death, satanic, like metal.
Any System of a Down in there or what?
No, not System of a Down. I did see them when I was super young though. And they were amazing. But no, it was like I don't see, where's my phone? I can actually just tell you, because it was very much, it was very recent, but it was let me see here. Win by J Rock, Sick by Slipknot, Pirates by Rick Ross, Till I Collapse by Eminem, No Problem, Lil Scrappy, Head Bust, Lil Scrappy, Throw It Up, Pastor Troy and Lil Jon, and then you know, go on some other ones. But it's like, I have these songs, but then you scroll down a couple songs and it's like Fleetwood Mac, Need Your Love So Bad.
Yeah.
And then you have like I have Maybe by Janis Joplin, and then like I've been listening to this guy, his name's Kyle Dion. I've been fucking with him a lot. You know, and he's more of like an R&B type. And then I still have like Dirty Work by Steely Dan, you know. But dude, to your point again, the other day, because I've been, you know, since I met you, I've been loving watching your Instagram because you have your DJ set. But I noticed you take like the Spotify like loop, and you put like a border around it, and it was like the Daft Punk, and you were like music playing today, and it was the Face to Face, that Daft Punk song that was playing on your Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this song. And I went to the shop that day. I opened up the shop on Sunday morning, and I played Discovery. I haven't listened to that album in years.
Yeah, great album.
Great album. Probably my favorite Daft Punk album from start to finish, because I mean, like, you got Digital Love, you have One More Time on that album. 2001 album, and it had so many bangers on it.
It's aged really well. Yeah.
Very, very well.
Yeah.
And it's still very much relevant. And then, you know, I later that day I played like an entire Janis Joplin album. I played an entire Steely Dan album. And it's like my music range, it doesn't matter. It's what I'm feeling that day and what like maybe I might even be feeling at that moment in my life. Like there's definitely been moments in my life where, you know, I was going through like a breakup or a life change. I had a loss, you know, not even just like a relationship loss, but a loss of a friend, a loss, because I've had a couple friends be murdered throughout my life. And so like things that reminded me of them, or like, for instance, like that little scrappy song Headbuster, like my homie Ernie R.I.P. Like I remember when I was like 17, he was 21, and he'd pick me up in the house, like he'd pick me up at my house. We're about to go skate, and he'd be like, "Yo, son, I got this song. I gotta fucking listen to it." And he's like, "It's Little Scrappy and Lil Jon." And he'd be like, he put it on, and I remember we were rolling in his car, and he was like, "We some head busters. We some head busters. We gonna knock her out. We some head busters." And he would just like, he was this Abercrombie model. He literally was an Abercrombie model. He was huge, big old like jack dude, but he skated so good. And he would just be like in his car getting all hyped up, and like I put that song on my playlist right before my fight because like I wanted that hype, and I have that memory of my head. So for me, music, whether it's hip hop or country or like some super sad R&B or Fleetwood Mac or whatever, it's very meaningful to me. And it's like I'm very much, again, to your point, is like it's about the experience and the mood and the feeling and the vibe that it's setting, you know. Like I grew up, my brother listened to heavy metal and like death metal and satanic metal and stuff like that, you know. He used to scare me with like the Iron Maiden tapes and shit like that, like and then growing up he'd have like all these underground metal bands. And then like my dad grew up listening to like Tower Power and like Chicano music and salsa and like all Latino music and shit like that. And then like my mom would be listening to like Jim Croce, Don Denver, Simon and Garfunkel, like, you know, shit like that, Billy Joel, you know. And then I found my own. So it's like, it depended on who I was with, this is what I was going to listen to. And I felt like that was very much a metaphor for my life. Like Caffeine and Green is very much hip hop and hustle and like Nipsey, like Notorious B.I.G., like Nas, stuff like that. But like a vibe and being stylish and clean. But then I go to Steel Mill and it's, you know, fucking Graveyard and Motorhead and Black Sabbath and like just fucking and like that reminds me of my brother, you know. And then like my homies and certain vibes that I have and all these things. Music is very influential in my life and probably a bigger part of my life than I even understand. But if there's a mood, there's a song. And like as of late, my grandmother passed away a couple days ago.
Sorry to hear that, man.
It's okay. And I'm dealing with that right now, and I've been at a loss. And I that's why I feel so moved that we're talking about the music right now, because I've been trying to find music that really encompasses how I'm feeling internally right now. And I can't find it. And I've been trying to find some hip hop songs that encompass it, and I can't find it. And then I've been trying to listen to some like other things, but it's like it's like missing. And because like I'm not at a loss for feeling the loss, because it's like I feel like it's more of like I'm happy that she's gone because she's at peace, because she was 94. She was old. She's my abuelita, you know. She's like the only grandparent I ever had. All my other ones had passed before I was born. But I was so close with her, and I haven't been able to find that thing. I know you know what I mean. There's that craving. When you wake up in the morning, you're in that mood. Like, hey, what's that mood today? Like, oh, I got that song. It's gonna hit it. Like that's the track, you know.
Yeah.
And today specifically, I've been trying to find it, and I haven't been able to find it yet. And I'm just like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be like country? Is it going to, because I fuck with country tough. Like, is it going to be country? Is it going to be jazz? Is it going to be some lo-fi? Is it going to be this? Like, and it just hasn't come across it. And I know it's going to happen. I know it'll be there, but it just, I don't know, man. Like I feel like when I when I walked into your spot, there's something about people who really understand music in all, like as an overall encompassing, I don't want to say understanding, but there's like you have
Appreciation, maybe like
appreciation, wherewithal, that there's so much more to music, whether or not like people are like, oh, I fucking hate rap. Or it's like, I don't even like the word I don't even like to say the word hate, because it's like, do you really hate that? Or do you just have a strong dislike? Because that word carries so much disdain and negativity and these things. But like you said, there's gems in everything. I love when you said that, because it was like, dude, that's so true. It doesn't matter what genre of music it is. You can find appreciation or a love, or like, damn, I didn't like country, but like, yo, I found this song and it was like, yo, it just it got me going. You feel me? Like,
it's like people who say they don't like beer, man. It's like, well, what did you have? It's like, well, I had a Budweiser. It's like, all right, cool, but have you tried like what we're having today, for example, like a Ghost beer, or fucking Pilsner or Hefeweizen? It's like, you can't just classify like, oh, I don't like beer on one beer that you had. Even like Budweiser, which is a lager, like, but have you had like a lager from Ballast Point, or have you had a lager from like, have you had a Tecate maybe? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be, especially with music, it's big. Like, you can't just say like, oh, I don't like rap because I didn't like, I didn't like Future. Future's like one of my favorite rappers right now. Like, I'm one of the biggest Future fans, bro. Like, love Future, and it's like some people be like, I don't like rap because I don't like, well, maybe you'll like, Cool Calm Pete, or maybe you'll like other like styles. Or like, rap is not just this. There's also like all these other little branches that go out.
Dude, yes, this heavy metal rap, lyrical rap, poet rap. Like, hip hop is where my heart's at. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, but you can find, much like rock music, alternative, indie pop, like Norwegian death metal, like the same tree, different branch.
Yeah,
you can find something for everybody, and it's just funny. My roommate, he'll always just be like, "Oh shit, Connell's in a country mood," because he does not like country music, and when I get in my country moods, I'll just be bumping it. He's like, I fucking hate this. Like, why are you playing this? And I just like, cause it's like talking about like, I got my dirt road, I'm doing this, and it's like, I fuck with that. But he's like, how do you go from listening to like Tekashi 6ix9ine to fucking country? And I'm just like, cause dude, I don't know, man. I attribute it to my parents and my brother and growing up around, and then your homies. Like, I had a homie, his name is Jensen. He would show me this. I remember the first song he showed me. It was called 773 Love by Jeremiah, and it was like 773, and it was like it's this like R&B song, and it's like super like serenadey, and like he's talking about just like caressing this woman, like being hella sexual with her. But I was like so moved by it, and I remember my ex was sitting there. She's like, "You like this song?" And I was like, "Yo, I love this song," And then it's like you put on a Taylor Swift song. It's like that guy over there with the really fine hair, like, check it out. And I was just like, oh shit, like I like this song. It's like hella poppy, and I'm like, oh, it's like getting me going. But then like, I'll listen to Bob Marley, or I listen to like some Beatles songs, like Dear Prudence. It depends on the music the mode that I'm in, or the mood that I'm in. Like my mom would show me like Hey Jude. My mom when I was growing up with her, because it was just me and her, my mom would tell me these songs, and she would have like experiences to songs that moved her, because she loves music. Like she would show me like Kenny Rogers and like Dolly Parton, or like the Carpenters, or like she'd be like, I remember in 8th grade I danced with Gary Johnson to Hey Jude, and it was like, oh my god, like I was so happy, like it was some shit like that. And those moments I started to attribute to certain things. Like I remember like I had a crush on this girl named like Lancel Bustamante, and she was like, she grabbed my hand in the crowd, like it was Juvenile, back that ass up, and like I was like dancing behind her. I was like, like, and that's like these moments, and I started to attribute these things. And as my life progressed, I started to have like for those moments, there was always like a song that I turned up with my homies, or like I would like to show my homies certain songs that I found on my own, and it was like, dude, music is such an important part of everything that I do. So like, you know, bringing it all back full circle, when I walked in to your spot and I seen the mixing boards, and I'm not really that musical, to be honest. Like I appreciate music, but I'm not really good at playing it myself. Like I can like keep a beat and I can dance. Like I can dance real well. I've been a dancer my whole life. But like my brother is definitely more like the musical guy. Like he can fucking like play drums all super gnarly, but I don't know. I'm more about the experience and the moves and the vibes, and like even when like I would do jujitsu, you know, like my jujitsu coach, he would like we would do like the no-gi class from like 7:30 to 9 p.m. and he would bring a speaker in when like the main jujitsu coach would leave. He was like, we don't get to play music in Rick's class, but he's like, in my class we play music. And so like, dude, we'd be doing like drills, and then he's like, all right, time to roll, and we just do like 25 minutes of fucking just, you know, 6 rounds, 5-minute rolls, and it's like Pac or like Nipsey playing, and you're just like trying to strangle this dude, but like in the middle of it, like, oh, I fucking love this song, like that's, you know, like, hey, you're trying to strangle somebody, or like you're battling it out with somebody, and you're like, you know, standing up and you're doing a striking match, and you're like, you just hear this track, and you're just like, oh fuck yes, and like, you know, like I don't know. I'm obsessed. I'm just obsessed with music, and I know it sounds like extreme right now, but like I don't know, bro. It gets me going, and it's something else for me. Like it's just, it definitely is a vibe.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, it's great. Yeah, music is life, man. It really is.
It is.
And the like, I'm not the only person doing like hi-fi shit around the world, and you realize that there's just more people that are just like just as obsessed as you and as me, and like the other homies that I know that come play at this, like, dude, like it's a disease almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like people get obsessed with it, but it's great. You know, like it can lift you up, it can bring you down sometimes, it can make you hustle harder. It's just like it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So I'm glad the space provided some of that, you know.
Dude, it did, bro. You know? It did, and it does. And I know, like, I've only been there twice. One after hours and one to actually experience it while it's open. But even in just, I don't know, it felt like home, bro. It felt New York. It felt Bay Area. It felt like I have these memories of just walking around, like, San Francisco by myself. Like, I used to go get lost in the city. I would like work maybe like an overnight shift from like 11 a.m. to 7 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift in corner like Mason and Polk at the JW Marriott in San Francisco.
Exactly where that's at, dude.
Yeah.
I used to live in SF today.
Yeah, that's what you said. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'd be right there, and I get off, and you know, maybe grab like a spliff, grab a cigarette, and I would just I would like go change out of my bellman suit. And like, you know, I have like a fucking fresh, you know, like you work the overnight, so you're making like at this time it was like $21 an hour.
Tips.
And then you have the tips.
You got some cash in your pockets.
So you got like $200 in your pocket from like doing like the morning hustle, because like, you know, you get the kickbacks, right? It's like super illegal, but I don't give a fuck. So it's like you do the kickbacks. You walk over to like, there's the black cars, and then there's the taxis, and the taxis stay in line. So you walk up, and the taxi be like, yo, you're going to Oakland Airport or SFO? You're like, oh, SFO, you get $5. You're going to Oakland, you get $10. And that's what you're doing with the cab drivers. And then if you get the black car is $15 kickback. I walk up, hey, come on, you need a cab? Where you going? All right, you want a black car? You want a taxi? Oh, I'm on a taxi. All right, cool. Where you going? SFO. All right, cool. And they walk up, boom, right there. All right, $10, boom, right there. So like you're hustling in the morning, you're getting your paper, whatever, and then they tip you on top of that, the people, but they don't know the transactions that are going down. By the time you're leaving, it's like you're walking away with like maybe $250. And just cash.
Dude, I didn't tell you this. I was a concierge for 5. So I know all about that culture,
so
bro.
You know about that. Okay,
yeah,
so you know about that hustle.
Of course, bro. Like, dude, it's like it's a really cool economy, bro. Because like,
loved it.
It's like just constant, like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yep.
Kind of situation.
100. Like loved it. So I would get off and I would like, like I said, I would go. There's grassroots dispensary right down the street. I'd have a spliff. I'd go there right when they open. They opened at 7. I get the $6, $5 spliffs or joints. They were like super like pin. You go get a Lucy cigarette, and then I would just smoke a cig, and then I would just like, dude, it was so funny. I'd change out of my suit, but then I'd put on like my flannel jacket, some Dickies, some Chucks, and just go skate around the city and just smoke, and then go hang out by the Golden Gate Bridge and like watch and like just chill, or like go to the Bay Bridge and just chill there and like skate around for a little bit. Or I would get off at 11, and I'd go skate around the city by myself and just go get lost and go check it out and like, get in some sketchy situations where like you see like you're just observing situations. You're observing people fucking losing their shit, or like see people getting kicked out of their apartment for doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Like, oh, you fucking bastard, you cheated on me, and you're just kind of like chilling back there. You're just like, like blowing out the cigarette, like, oh shit, like kind of thing. But like when I walked into your spot the first time, it was like New York, San Francisco, all these experiences like that I do by myself converged, and like I walked in, I was like, this is tight. I got my music, I got my coffee, I'm chilling, and I got the homie right here, and he's vibing, and it's like, yo, and nobody even knows you're there.
Yeah,
like nobody. So it's like,
and the thing is that I want people to know I'm there, but I also like the hi-fi bars in Japan tend to be a little bit more hidden, so like you gotta kind of work for it. You gotta look around. Like they're not just gonna be like, oh, here it is. A lot of them are like on the 12th floor, 4th floor, downstairs. You gotta go up a flight of stairs. They're inside of a fucking shop in the back. Like, so I didn't necessarily want to copy that per se, but I kind of ended up being that because of like, I'm not gonna. I've said this before already here, but it's like I'm in a neighborhood that's still like rough around the edges, and I respect that.
yeah,
Like I'm not there to try to change the neighborhood, but I'm just respecting like just the neighborhood vibe, and I'm not trying to like be too flashy at all. So I've always kept my cool and just be very. So without even wanting to, I kind of became that whole vibe of just like being hard to find. Like, so it's like, oh shit, like I'm going to lean into that as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's why there's like the Japanese letters on the side, which it says welcome in Japanese, by the way. Like,
that's what it says?
It says welcome. Yeah. It says welcome. So it's easy to find. Like once you kind of just, because it does stand out, even though I don't want to stand out, like in that block, it's just like it's the one space that's like, dude, why does it say don't wear a mask in Spanglish, because it's in Spanglish. Like why is there all these people lined up outside of it, because of the days that we have like burritos, or like it could be like a line of people outside, and it's like there's nothing like that in the neighborhood.
Nothing.
So
everything around there, like we're right across the street from like a panderia.
From a panaderia, from the bird shop. My next door neighbor's a nail salon. I have the next door neighbors to the left of me are the police station.
Is that a police station?
Yeah, it's the Southeast Division of San Diego Police Department. So yeah, like it's a very active area. Like there's always something going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Because like the cops are there, and it's just pretty fucking chill. It's a very working class neighborhood though. So like all my neighbors are, just hustlers, like they're all people that are working, sending money back home. You got the panaderia across the street. It's cool, man. It's cool. I like being there because I feel like I'm at home. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we're all hustling here, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that I speak Spanish is like a major plus points because all my neighbors are Mexican or Salvadorian or Peruvian.
Mm-hmm.
So like in the mornings, it's like buenos dias, hey, buenos dias. It's like they've accepted me.
Yeah.
In the
You're
hood.
not coming in trying to fucking.
They don't see me as like a gentrifier.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to be. Like, and I would never want to bring that to the neighborhood. I'm there for as long as the hood permits me to be there, and obviously like I said it once before. Like I am hopefully gonna find like the perfect space that I can. And not that my space is not perfect; it's great. But like I need more space. You know what I'm saying? Like I need outdoor space. I need to be able to have some kind of, you know, the word I'm looking for, but I just need to be able to feel like I can leave my equipment there without having to fear like every night, like shit, dude, like somebody gonna break in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a rough area. You know, it's up and coming. It's not like Barrio Logan yet, but it's such a cool location. It's in the intersection of like Barrio Logan, Golden Hill, downtown, Sherman Heights. You know, you got all these things happening all around it, and it's like right there, like, you know, blocks.
Dude,
away
I didn't
from
even
Petco
realize
Park.
how close you were to my house until the first time I went there. I was like,
Super close, yeah.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, right there. There's a skate spot right down the street from your spot, like a spot that I've looked at multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, it's right up the street, literally, just like same street, just go up a little bit more. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's a great neighborhood, man. Like I got nothing but respect for that hood, Sherman Heights. You know, and before I opened there, I really never went there.
Yeah.
And part of the reason was because I was just intimidated as well by Sherman Heights. It's like, yeah, like it's a real like barrio, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's a
yeah.
barrio. So, you know, you gotta obviously just, you know, play by the rules as well. You know, you don't wanna
You gotta respect the hood.
respect
That's
the
what it
hood.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
You know, there's a lot of stuff. Just you know, you're there and you're just, you know, another business doing its thing, and people leave you alone. You know what I mean? Like it's like everybody respects everybody there.
Dude, I mean, that's what I mean, like, it's even when you're in, like, a neighborhood, right? Like, where my grandmother, you know, in 2015, I was living back at her house up in the Bay Area, and where she lived in Fremont, ironically, Fremont is, like, now one of the nicest parts of the Bay Area, I guess, but, like, there's little pockets. And where she lived...
There's a BART station there, huh?
Now... Like, dude, where she grew, like, where she is, like, the BART station is...
It's like the last station, I think. No?
Well, Fremont is the last station, and now that it's, like, Warm Springs Station, which is, like, a newer development. Because I haven't lived there in... Fuck, I moved away from when I was 19. I'm 35 now, so... But, like, in 2015, when I was living there, there was, like, this family that lived next door to us, and they were, like, Mexican mafia. They got, like, shot out the windows, like, gunshots, like, drive-bys and shit. Then there was the other Cardenas family that lived up the street. So there was like, they would always bring over our mail because like we got mixed up. But they were like a bunch of drug dealers. And I'd be coming home from the city super late at night. And they were just like straight Bay Area hood cats. You know, they're like middle of December, it's freezing outside. They're standing out there with like fucking Raiders jerseys on and Niner jerseys on, drinking their fucking tall cans. Whatever. But, like, I came home super late at night. I remember, like, a couple of these hood cats, like, they were standing out there, like, dealing their drugs, doing their thing, whatever. And, like, this one dude, like, he got out of his car, and he just, like, was standing there, and he was, like, looking at me. And, he, like, I got out of my car, and he fucking, like, got out of his car, and he just watched me. And, like, I walked over to my grandma's house, and, like, I could feel the eyes on the back of my head. And, like, I went into the house. I was just, like, just chill. And I was just, like, I'm hoping... Whoever was in the house was like, nah, he's good. He lives here. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And it happened that way. But there was like very much you had to be aware of the neighborhood because like there's like certain drug dealers on the neighborhood block that like you couldn't just like you can't fuck with. You know, like these dudes run the block kind of thing. And it was like very much to your point. It's like respect the hood. Like there's rules.
Yeah.
You just got to know like, hey, you don't like, and dude, and I know how to fight. You know, and I'm also not going to go pick a fight with somebody who could possibly pull out a gun and just shoot me. And then, hey, you know, that's a wrap. Game over. You know, it's very much like, all right, dude, I see you. I'm not going to look back at you. I'm not, but what the fuck you looking at? Like, you know, explicit, whatever. But it's just like, hey, this is what it is. Respect the neighborhood, respect it, whatever. Like, yeah, I don't look Mexican and I'm white and stuff, but like the people that I roll with and everybody's dark, And like it is like it's not a stereotype, but it is like the neighborhood that we live in, and it's like okay, cool, whatever. But respect the neighborhood. Know that there's certain rules you have to abide by while you're here. Leave certain people alone. Don't look, whatever. All right, cool. Go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, people are gonna leave you alone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, it's all you gotta do, bro. Just roll with it. You know, every now and then, you know, you'll be somewhere else and you're just like, what? Like,
Oh yeah, I've gotten checked like twice already outside my place. It's like, but I almost feel like it's a rite of passage. And having lived in SF, bro, I have to say that it kind of like added some tougher skin to me, because like I can't tell you how many times I used to walk down Market Street and just be like,
oh, fucking Market. Yeah.
like just people yelling at me and like getting in my face, and it's just like all right, well, I'm just gonna walk around you now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the times that I've had instances happen to me outside the shop, it's like I'm just like dude, I don't gangbang. I'm not trying to like respect, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no beef here. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, it's been pretty fucking chill. I keep a low profile. My neighbors are all cool. They you know, the neighbors have all embraced the shop. Like, they come order coffee there. They'll
Nice.
come listen to music. Like my panaderia neighbor Felipe and his wife. You know, we have the nice old bartering system going on. Like, I'll bring him like some cold brew, and I get my fucking like free pan. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's bomb. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good deal, bro. It's
I love
a good
that.
deal. It's a good exchange for sure.
What's your go-to bread?
Well, they have this bread there. It's bolillo, which is like a almost like a Mexican version of a baguette. You know, it's like a bolillo. It's like torta bread. Like bolillo. It's stuffed with Oaxaca cheese, jalapeno and ham. It's like a ham and cheese croissant, but the Mexican version of it.
Oh, isn't that like a bocadillo?
They oftentimes will call it a bolillo, or they call it a virote con queso. But yeah, dude, like that's my go-to there. Also the cinnamon roll, dude. I'm a huge fan of cinnamon rolls, and
I was thinking pan de jamon. That's what I was thinking. Sorry.
Pan de jamon. Well, pan de jamon, I want to say is in Venezuelan culture they have like pan de jamon.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Okay.
Because it's like the name of like the style of pan. In Mexican panaderias, it's like a bolillo con queso or virote con queso.
Okay.
So that is like my go-to, but I tone it down because I can't have that shit every day.
Yeah,
like, that shit's heavy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll blow up if I have that every day.
So like, I mean, do you get any pan dulce? Do you ever get like do you have like a my
like
grandmother
a concha or something like that?
Something like that. Like my grandmother always used to like the ones with like the pink top. I mean, like there's no really to be honest, there's no real difference in the flavor. But like one of my favorite things, like I go to my grandma's house and she would be like, she's like, mijo, I got pan dulce. I was like, oh yeah, grandma, what'd you get? She's like, just make sure you don't eat the pig. And I was like, why? She's like, your daddy likes the pig. Because my dad was taking care of her for like the last like 10, 15 years. And it'd just be like this fucking plastic bag just right up on the top, right next to some like serrano chiles and stuff, like just like, you know, like a bite out of it, and then it just sits there.
Mm-hmm.
And then like fucking letting it get like, you know, like a little bit. But it'd just be like, there's like the piggy, and then there'd be like a pink one, a yellow one, and then there'd be like a couple other like whatever bullshit ones that you would get at like Pancho Villa over here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, dude, my cousin's like, oh, like, let me get the yellow one, let me get the pink one. It's like, dude, it literally tastes the same. It's just food coloring.
Yeah, there's some that taste different, but like most of them are.
It's just sugar.
It's like sugar, bro. It's like that's why I don't eat them too. And also like the fact that like most pan dulce, I mean, all of it except the ones that are vegan, but like it has animal fat in it.
Yeah.
So like
Are you vegan?
I'm not vegan.
Oh, okay.
I like vegan food, but I'm also
Hey, if
like,
it's bomb, I'll eat it.
you know what I'm saying? It's like I enjoy vegan food like a lot, but I also enjoy meat and I enjoy, you know, all kinds of shit. But I love vegan food, and I could see myself doing the vegan thing, but I'm I'm everything.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I'll eat everything
I'll
as
eat
long as it
everything.
tastes good.
But I had some vegan people at the shop that were like eating the bread. I'm like, oh, cool. Like you guys like the bread from over there? Yeah, it's good. Like we're just so glad there's like non-vegan options. I'm like, well, we do know that bread has like manteca. Manteca is like animal fat.
Yeah.
You know, that's what gives it that whole like savory shit. Like it's just like delicious like vibe of a pan dulce because it's like made with manteca, and manteca is like fat, pig fat.
Yeah.
So they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, let me Google it right now. Let me show you. So it's like pan dulce.
Just ruin their day and shit.
I didn't want to, but it's like, hey, it's like, yo, pan dulce is not vegan. Like, so there is like vegan pan dulce, which you do find it at different, like, there's different. I think Normal Baking here in ST does like vegan pan dulce, and couple bakeries in TJ. Like, but I've seen it, but it's not always like. It's not all vegan. That's what makes it so good. Pan dulce is so good because it has like crack in it, bro. Like
Dude,
literally.
that's the thing though. Like, I'm all for supporting it. If you're gonna be vegan, I'm all for it. I'll fuck with you. Like, we can go to some vegan spots. I'll take you some good vegan spots. I'll show you good vegan dishes. But if we're related, and you come at me with like my cousin, oh my god, my cousin Izzy. One time, I remember this like years ago. She was like, Did grandma make? She's like super whitewashed. She's like, did grandma make the fucking vegetarian tamales? And I was like, yeah, I helped grandma make those. And I was like, this bullshit in here. I was like, what is this? I was like, why are you not eating meat? You can't eat chicken. You can't eat pork. I'm a vegetarian now. I remember up until like 2 years ago, you were eating every fucking thing in this bitch. I was like, yo, you could be a vegetarian, you could be a vegan, but when you come here to the house, don't give me that shit. That's a choice. You know grandma's over here making this bullshit. Like you're gonna say you're vegan now, you're vegetarian now. Why are you doing it? You really care about the animals? Well, it's for like health reasons. Like, no, fuck that. Grandma's making this. She's literally making the masa by hand, and we're all fucking over here spreading it on the fucking on the husk and with the masa. Like
labor of love, bro.
like, come on, man. Like, be a vegan every other day of the year. Be a vegetarian every other day of the year. Cool. When you're here, we've literally been feeding this to you since you were a fucking baby. And I remember when you came in that little thing, we're just feeding it to you. Come on now, don't give me this bullshit. All right. And it was like, all right, cool. But it was just like, I don't know, man. Like, when it comes to that type of shit, because it's a labor of love. It's like that soul feeling. It's like it was that family assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
We might not speak Spanish in my family, but the cultura, the culture was there, and our grandma definitely instilled that in us, and it was dope. It was my cousin Cassie. She married he's from Honduras. He's Honduran. And he speaks. What's that?
Hondureño. Yeah.
Hondureño?
Hondureño, yeah.
Hondureño. Okay,
like Honduran, yeah.
He speaks Spanish super fluently, and he speaks to his son Mateo in Spanish, and he goes back and forth like just drop of a hat. And I love that. I love seeing that shit. He's like, "Hey, papi, da 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 da, do this like this, like this." And he's like, show him how to do the masa, and he's showing him how to do all this shit. And it was like, dude, I fucking love that, I think beautiful. I might not speak the language necessarily, but you don't have to speak the language to know the feeling and the dedication to who you are, and if you know who you are as a person inside, and you know where you came from. And I think that's probably the best part, like bringing it all back. It's like whether it's the music, whether it's the coffee, whether it's the culture, whether like what it is you're doing and being a part of like a neighborhood or like whatever you're doing professionally, and you're putting all of it into like you're putting all of yourself into what you're putting out. People are gonna realize that, and that's the authenticity, And it's like whether it's Caffeine and Green and my roasting and creating content or the podcast, or whether it's Longplay.Hifi and you're like, your studio and the music and all this stuff is like. The reason I think I fuck with you and like we vibe so hard is that like real recognize real, right? Like I'm not saying I'm real, but like I'm saying is like when I see what you're doing, it's like I pick up on that. And that's just like whether it's the track you're playing, the coffee you're producing or making, and it's like there's something like there's a frequency to it that you're like, damn, I fuck with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, we're about to do 2 hours.
Damn.
Dude, let's wrap it up. Bring it in.
Let's wrap it up. You tell me how you want to wrap it up, bro.
Dude, honestly, I think we'll just, I would say, please let me know whatever I can do to help Longplay.Hifi get to that next level and help you continue to grow what you're doing. Because, like, I mean, dude, whether we're talking about growing things, like doing things backwards, like, there's so many parallels. Like when I started the podcast, running it backwards and doing these things and building my following from the podcast to the coffee roasting, to doing social media content creation, to we were talking about hacks beforehand of like what we're doing, and we're like bouncing ideas off each other, and like music, and I mean, I'm feeding off of what you were doing just based on your story. Like, dude, I think genuinely, like, and I mean this, is like you meet people for a reason, and you vibe with people, whether it was not like we just started and we met at that thing that I sponsored and you sponsored. I think this is going to be like moving forward, like, yo, we could do some cool shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude, of course, dude.
And even if not, like, I just want to come and fuck with you at your spot. Like, I want to show support for the homies.
Yeah,
there.
bro, I do it, and trust me, it gives me great pleasure to see homies come in to the shop. It's like, it's badass, dude. And we got switching things up, moving like for the last quarter of the year. So I hope to see you there soon, because like you've only experienced it with me DJing, but like in reality, like the shop really takes on a whole different vibe when I have the guest selectors come in.
Okay.
So it would just
Saturdays and Sundays, I'm always free.
So the new schedule is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Only 3 days.
Only 3 days.
Yeah, only 3 days. But I'm open. But I'm doing an AM service and a PM service on each day.
Thursdays is my day where like it's mainly caffeine and green.
Yeah.
Let me know what day. I mean, what we're doing.
This Thursday is the first Thursday of the new schedule. So like in the morning it's gonna be coffee, and in the afternoon it's gonna be natural wine.
That's right. We were talking about the wine thing.
Natural wine. I'm working towards like. It's gonna be like natural wine and quesadillas, bro. That's
what?
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, but it's getting there slowly. But like there's this one bar in Mexico City that I used to go to all the time. It's called El Bósforo, and it was a mezcaleria, and they had like literally, bro, like, because the thing about quesadillas is like they're so simple. Mm-hmm. The most important part of a quesadilla is a tortilla.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the cheese, of course, but the cheese is like, all you need is Oaxaca cheese. The tortilla is where it's at, man. And I got the plug with this really badass maíz down in TJ with my boy Joe. Shout out to Joe over at La Carmelita in TJ. He's making some like amazing. He's got the whole nixtamalización process on lockdown and getting corn from like amazing suppliers all over Mexico. So just doing like a very basic like quesadilla is not really like rocket science. It's just like sourcing good masa, good cheese, and as long as you have a griddle, fucking make the tortilla, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I'm gonna be fucking really switching it up moving forward, like just doing some crazy shit, like testing it out in hopes that like I can at some point like put out like a real like just wine bar. You know what I'm saying? Like right now the studio is like just it's a lab. Mm-hmm. You know, so like it could be coffee in the morning, it could be this in the afternoon, it could be like our brunch series, which is one Sunday a month right now. We're doing like these crazy brunches with like oysters and like just like crazy shit, bro. Like we're working with some cool chefs to put out like some interesting things, and it's getting there, man. It's getting there slowly. But I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. That's why like coffee is like my baby. Mm-hmm. and we're doing a lot of cool shit with coffee in terms of like, we're starting to bag up some coffees as well. Like I only work with Mexico coffees. I don't know if I told you that already.
Yeah, Floor and Seed, right?
Float and Seed is the our roasting partner. Jan at Float and Seed like really understands a lot of like the stuff we're trying to do with coffee in terms of like sourcing from like farmers and then micro lots in Mexico, like supporting like really small operations down there
Mm-hmm.
to just put out something that might not be like like available for more than one batch, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, oh shit, we helped out the Mesa family in Chiapas with this last roast because they're struggling as well, just like everybody, like this last year. So it's been really nice to do stuff like that, and obviously like I don't want to give up on coffee. Like coffee is like I want to eventually have like a dedicated coffee shop, but if that shop can also transform into something else, like I feel like what COVID has taught me this last year is that like it doesn't need to be like cornered into just one thing. Like I can be all kinds of things right now,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So got a lot of cool shit planned for this to end the year. Like got some good homies, DJs that are gonna be playing at the shop. Got some more merch coming. Got the run club that we're launching this month.
Run? Like
run
running?
club. Yeah, we're launching a run club.
Okay.
Yeah, just because we got like runners that come to the shop and they're like, yeah, you should do a run club, G, and this and that. And it's like I run too, like people might not know about it, but I go on my runs, like
Fuck yeah.
keeps me sane.
Yeah, yeah.
So like we're doing this little run club this month, and that's what I love about like just having this flexibility to just fucking do whatever.
Yep.
Put it out there because it's a lab and I can just like test it and run it and see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody shows up, maybe I'll retire it right away. But luckily, dude, everything we put out, people show up. So it's like
Yeah.
it says something, and you can quantify it based on like the analytics that we have access to these days, and truly see like, oh shit, well, this is got some traction. We made sales. It has like a lot of impressions on Instagram, and like you were saying, the reels, like
Dude, yeah.
people watch this shit, so like maybe I should put out more of it, so hopefully gonna wrap up this year, Q4 with a couple changes, and like moving into a 3-day work week is not necessarily like me having 4 days off. It's just me like I'm going to give 3 days of like going 120% at the shop. And then the other days, like, yeah, I need a day to decompress. I need time to do admin work. I need time to like work on the next coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I need time to work with my designer, Maida, on like the next t-shirt that's going to come out or the next hat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Damn,
it's a lot of work, and it's just
Yeah.
me. Like, I don't know if I've told you this before, but it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, it's just like I am a one person show, and I don't want it to be that way. But right now, I'm just kind of like, as my good friend Katie, because the company that I used to work for back in the day, I work for a British company, bro. So like, a lot of like British shit stuck with me, and my friend Katie would be like, yeah, sometimes you just have to strap on a pair, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like this year, dude. I just like, damn, bro. It's just been like, yeah, I'm gonna do it all on my own. Not that I want to be that way, because I've always worked on a team, but it's like I'll hustle it until I build something that can eventually like start bringing on a team to grow it a little bit more. But right now, I'm just looking to survive, dude. You know what I mean? Like stay afloat. That's it. So.
Bro, yeah.
So I appreciate you inviting me to this pod, bro, because
Yeah.
it really does help me get my message out to people and to tell people what I'm doing out there, and hopefully, create a little bit more awareness around the brand. So I thank you, and I congratulate you on the work that you're doing and all
Thank
your
you.
shit, bro. So
Thank you.
So cheers to that.
Cheers, bro. And I mean, hey, just know that like you're not the only one out there hustling, bro. Like I want you to know that there's people out there that are doing it just like you, like just like much like yourself. Caffeine and Green is just me. When it comes to like running some of the social media stuff, like the Caffeine and Green Instagram is both me and my marketing team, which is 2 ladies in Arizona. Shout out Diana. And I don't know her assistant's name, but shout out to you as well. But all the other stuff, the content creation, everything else that I'm doing, that's all me. Steel Mill, shout out to everybody at Steel Mill, like in that. And then, dude, much like this, midnight, I work midnight to 4:10, 12:10 to 4:10 a.m. I work at Amazon, and I do that as well. And then I do all the editing in between that, like working out. Shout out to my entire Prusa Fight Team fam. But it's like, bro, like, you just gotta, like, much to your friend Katie, strap on a pair. And it's like, bro, that's what the last couple of years have been for me. Like almost 3 years, going on 3 years. That's strap on a pair and just figure it out. Yeah, there's dude, I never had a gray hair in my beard up until probably 3 years ago. Yeah, shit gets stressful, but like, there's, like J. Cole said, he's like, there's beauty in the struggle. You know? And like, more and more every single day I think about that fucking lyric. It's like, one day it might not be like this, but there's beauty in the struggle. Like, maybe one day it won't be like this, and I'll look back and I'll be like, or maybe you'll look back too and be like, damn, I kind of wish it was like that again, because maybe you'll get complacent and maybe things will happen. Not you specifically.
I hope that day comes soon, bro. I'm ready. Last year and a half, bro, it's been like just brutal. I can't lie. It's like, it's been fucking brutal. Like on my mental health and my fucking wallet and everything. It's just been like, I'm ready to move on from this shit, dude.
Yeah, but you know what? That's like one thing I heard once in my life. It was like, a friend of mine said, just like, it's just this and this and this and this. This is happening. This is happening. And an older homie of ours said, I hear you complaining a lot. He's talking about like, your plate's too full. Your plate's too full. That homie said to us, get a bigger plate. That was it. And like, I literally, it was like get a bigger plate. 4 words. Get a bigger plate. That fucking changed my whole mentality. It's like, when you feel overwhelmed and you feel like it's like you're doing too much and this, that, and this, it's just like, you know what? Get a bigger plate. Because then if you get a bigger plate, it gets the thing that used to fill up your plate gets smaller, and now you have all this other room. I don't know. I think that's just the mentality that I've had the last couple of years and trying to get where I need to be. And it's like, I don't know, man. Everything happens for a reason. You meet people and things continue to grow and get better and get farther. And it's just like, grow your network. Do your damn thing.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking A.
That's what it's all about, bro. That's what it's all about. But yeah, thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
Tell the people where they can find you.
People can find me at right now, currently at 2547 Imperial Ave. I don't know for how much longer that will be. I'm just saying that in case this is like 2025 and somebody's listening to this shit, like. But Longplay.Hi-Fi is the handle for like the experiment, if you will, that we're doing. Longplay.Studio on Instagram is the home of the agency, where you can also see like a lot of the work that we've done for the last like 8 years in terms of like just shit that's on our resume, so if you're ever curious about like what's actually led up to this. But just available on those platforms respectively, like Longplay.Hi-Fi. If you Google or look it up on like Mixcloud, like a lot of our DJ sets are up on Mixcloud. We have a Spotify account where we put some playlists up.
Oh shit, I'm about to check that out.
Yeah,
okay.
we have a Twitter account, which is gonna be a little bit more active, hopefully moving forward. TikTok as well. Like I kind of fuck around like everywhere, like diversify, but Instagram's kind of like the main squeeze for everything. But that's where we can be found, and I'll always reply to DMs and hopefully like make sure to get to everybody who shows some love. If you have any questions about what it is, who's playing, how to RSVP, how to
Yep.
fucking how to park. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of questions, but yeah, that's how you can find us, man. And we're there, kicking, staying afloat.
Yes. Yes. Please go visit my man. Get some coffee, do whatever, but just go and experience it. It's the best.
Appreciate
right.
you, Kano. Thank
G.
you, brother.
Thank you so much for coming on. And I always tell everybody this won't be the last time you'll be on the show.
Oh yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back for sure, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, G. That was an amazing conversation. And man, I have to say, like, to know now just what he's trying to do and just his perspective and more insight to what it is, I love it that much more. So, guys, head on over to Longplay.Hifi and go check it out for yourselves. And guys, I just want to give one more huge thank you to every single person who continues to support Caffeine and Green every single week. Guys, I couldn't do this without y'all, and let me just say, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all y'all so much. And guys, if you still need coffee, if you need any Caffeine and Green merch, head on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today for all your Caffeine and Green needs. And lastly, guys, like I said, I love all y'all so much, so please be safe out there, wear your mask, do whatever, just show mad love to each other, and I will see y'all next week. Peace!